Okay, so picking up from the end of last session, you guys successfully exited the Forsaken Waste, made your trades in Schützburger, and boarded a barge bound north towards Leon. You were told it's about a day or two's journey over water to enter the city. Is there anything you guys are looking to do on your way there, or is this mostly just going to be an easy ride? Or
Yeah, I
Did
hear that there's a
oh,
conductor who has a magic wand that can open a door to like a portal to like a pleasure room. That's like it'll be like a big garden or whatever you would want in a pleasure room.
It's whatever you want in a
and
pleasure.
and the conductor is also played by Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Actually, most
And,
characters
and
on this barge are played by Tom
there's like a
Hanks.
mystery going on the barge that we need to solve. And it's like it's funny because it's like all happening on the one barge, so everyone who entered, like they're all suspects.
yes, you could call this the Arson on the stone's throw extremely limited.
We're trying to
Half
do.
the ship has burnt down already. We can't find out who it was. There's the six of you, and there's that one guy who's covered in ash and carrying a bunch of kerosene. Who could it be?
Oh, is it that guy
Shit.
with the periwinkle necklace?
Odds,
You son
odds
of a
are that
bitch!
it's likely us then, so we probably shouldn't investigate it. No, sir, we will not take your piles and piles of money to investigate who burned down half the barge.
Well,
I may as well just throw it into this lake then. Maybe another group will find it years from now.
well, that was a cool murder mystery play you told us about.
Yeah.
Oh, glad
Can
we're to
we
Leon
name
now.
this like I understand we haven't even started playing yet, but can we name this session "Murder on the Polar Express"? Like, even if it has nothing to do with anything, even if it has nothing to do with
It's
anything.
our fault.
Arson on the Polar Express.
Arson on the Polar Express. Some icy hot shit.
Oh man, I want that to be the name of the session, and it has nothing to do with anything.
Cut this out. Cut this out so that no one knows except for us.
A secret bond joined by blood. Okay, yeah. So failing that, what Morak on this barge ride to Leon? Do you give Kip his weapon back, or are you waiting till you get to the city?
No, my plan was. I'm assuming that the barge ride will be a few days.
He said it would be 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
2 days? Damn, that's a fast barge. Um,
It's on flowing water, flowing in the
I know, I know. I just.
It also has a jet engine on the
Yeah,
back.
exactly. I forgot about the jet engine, Mary.
Also, it's
Um,
magic.
and it's
Oh no, that's ridiculous.
magical diesel jet
Just
engine.
like you're always he could
I
said
know,
any,
whatever.
he could have said any amount of time and you would have shit on the
I
amount
know.
of time.
I know. I need to keep him humble. Um,
Morak has a fucking heart attack and just dies.
fine.
He's the one who did the arson. It all ties together.
Yeah, aneurysm. Um, yeah, my plan would be to give Kip his pole arm.
Okay.
Do you want to do that as a scene?
Like, are we all ready to play, or are we still goofy? I didn't know if that was an actual question.
I'm being dead.
I'm I'm ready to start.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, Morak will.
Wait, could you maybe set the scene for us, David? Like, are there like dining cars and like compartment cars, or is it just like one big like barge where we're kind of sleeping in hammocks? Like maybe you could start there.
Sure. So it's not a huge ship that you guys are on. It's pretty much just there are three levels to it. So there's the upper level for like boarding, bringing cargo. There's the middle section where like, there's a very small, not hugely well stocked galley, as well as just like cots for you. It's maybe 4 or 5 people acting as the crew to kind of just keep this thing going. This doesn't seem like a huge operation. And then just a lower section where there's just, if you guys go under there, you see just boxes and boxes just stacked up, sealed up. Some like loose pouches, some barrels. If you pop it open, you see just like, oh, just like some like rice wine. This one here, it's a bundle of carrots. Nothing that really caught your eye immediately. You guys are probably the Ant-Man, the big green alien that was walking around without any clothes on. And I'm just gonna assume Sunny's disguise, so we don't have to grapple with that. Are probably the most interesting cargo on it. But yeah, as you guys are on this, it's pretty calm. It's pretty calm weather, just moving up towards Leon, and you just see Kip kind of see him posing, like half posing, like the looking out towards like the horizon. Not quite JoJo, more like just looking out towards it, and just like watching the horizon. Like he's looking for something, but you also know he has no idea where anything is, so you don't know why he's doing this. But he's just kind of on the deck looking out and just seems like patiently watching, almost like waiting for something. He's not really said much to any of you guys. He kind of just keeps pace with you, but hasn't put a lot of input in. Criff, the crew have decided to confine him to his own section of the quarters, and Banya is just kind of below deck. She is sketching in a notebook. But so it is just Kip on the surface.
We wouldn't actually let Krith just be confined to his own quarters by himself, so we do politely ask if Zach, if Sunny and Kezia and Byron will keep him company.
Oh, you got it, Toad. I don't even know who I was going for with that one.
Maybe Kezia?
I thought it was Byron.
It was vaguely Byron, but it really fell apart. Roito, you got it.
I thought it was a little Fozzie Bear, honestly.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
I was Yogi. I'm not even Fozzie.
Oh shit. Oh, didn't he like
Yeah, there
fight
we go.
someone in '87 or something like that?
Zeka suffers 30 points of psychic damage.
He's 14. Of course he plays FNAF.
But yes, Kip is on the deck of the ship, just kind of watching out.
Morak will go up to Kip.
Is anyone else around, like Artuck or Zach?
If anybody wants to be around.
Okay.
Anybody want to be around?
Have your thing.
How's it going,
Okay.
Morak?
I'm going to talk to the green man up there. I'm going to
Oh.
We'll
Can I
have a
come?
great conversation over. Oh, okay.
No, I don't have to. You do your thing, man.
No, you go, Zeka. I was just gonna say we will continue our great conversation over here, but now Artuck and I will just continue our great conversation about.
I really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
talking about the color periwinkle, though.
Well, we're
like-
not talking about that.
Oh, what was I doing?
It's kind of a weird topic to bring
We
up.
were
but-
concerned about you. You just were talking to yourself again.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, Morak, I'm coming with you, if that's
Great.
cool with you.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and I guess as we're walking, I'll just mention that I'm planning on giving him back his polearm. Since I believe, I don't know, you were kind of preoccupied with your lizard. At the fantasy Whole Foods that we were at. But we found this in the weapons cabinet, and I believe that this was his.
Oh, okay. And you're just giving it back to him?
Well, I believe that it's clearly something sentimental to his people. I don't feel like it's all right to just take it from him and keep it, especially since he's kind of alone here, and it might be nice for him to have it back, since he literally has nothing on him except a sweet new pair of denim kicks.
You think he might be mad we didn't immediately give it back to him?
Well, he was putting on denim and he wasn't at the store, and then we kind of like took a nap, and now we're here. I don't really have a chance in between. Like, I kind of just bought it, and now he was at the boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a really good idea, and I'm here to support you.
Thank you.
You brought along the right person.
So I guess we'll go up to Kip. Like, Kip, can I have a word with you?
You may.
Can we have a word with
Yes. Yes, we. Sorry.
Then no.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go open up my tiny little bag, go in and pull out my giant pole arm.
You see his eyes immediately just like for just a half second, just like, and you see him like hands immediately begin to tense as you are holding it.
I like lay it down and I like present it to him. I believe this is yours.
Kind of snatches it away, like was half expecting you to take it back. Where did you find this?
It was in a black market dealing. I found it earlier, and I believe that you would have wanted it back.
You would be right. You
Um,
see him kind of just begin to size up. So to describe, I have an image there in the in roll 20, but it is essentially just a long pole arm similar to a Shaolin spade with kind of one curved end in a darker metal, the other end kind of curved out in a different way, a little wider of a blade. And he just kind of begins to kind of reassess with it, like kind of just I don't know how to describe this in a way that isn't dumb, but kind of like try it out. I can't think of the right word for it, but basically just begin to use it and like kind of see that his reflexes and skill with it is still good.
um,
Mm.
I wanted to give this back to you to show you that our group, our small little band of misfits, are worthy of your trust, and that we're on the same team.
Kind of, he slows down his roll for just a second. He looks at the both of you and kind of just jams the back end of the spear of the pole arm towards Morak for just a second. Just like right at your throat.
Whoa.
Truthfully, he pulls it back. I'm surprised. I half expected all of you to be blundering idiots who would try to kill me, or at least make a good effort of it.
Only if you try to kill us first.
That remains to be seen, I suppose. But this is a good step in the right direction.
Kind of a whack thing to say after we gave you back your like stick.
You have all been playing in the realms of a threat far higher than all of you, far higher, far above even myself. Simply handing me back my weapon, which is appreciated, is not enough. This could still be a trick. There could be something in this for it to break at a critical moment when I need it. There could be a chance for you to just earn my trust to betray me down the line. There's no trust with us, and there never will be. But perhaps I'm simply paranoid, and will continue to be paranoid. For now, though, this is a good first step.
Well, what I wanted to ask to possibly build some more trust between us, at least, is if you could spar with me with the weapon. We're gonna.
He immediately adopts kind of like Darth Maul in the final duel with Obi-Wan in Rebels, just kind of like that aggressive pose where it's like ready to like almost dual wield it.
Morak's like, no, not right now. I'm in my pajamas. I just let me. I don't even have my sword on me.
You actually see like a flash of magic at the end of either side of the blade, and then he just kind of stands back up, and you see it dissolve.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
tired. Maybe in the morning we could spar, or I could get my sword now and we could spar. But you know much more about dealing with this threat than I do, and I want to make sure that my people are protected from these illithids or whatever you want to call them, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared. My party is safe from them. So anything you could learn, and also I'd love to learn, however, someone from other than this world fights. It would be a learning pleasure for myself.
And a sexual pleasure.
It would be extremely erotic, personally.
It would seem that our cultures are not so different.
And then we kiss.
Very well. In the morning, when you are ready, then we may begin. And if you'd gather
Ooh.
your allies, we may discuss as well.
Great. I will see you in the morning.
You see him just immediately begin to kind of get back into practice, and it's a really quick thing just as you're going over it. Just kind of a lot of trying to force the momentum and a very aggressive fighting style, just like immediately, like constantly on the attack, never like pulling back. And he's like, you notice really quickly, just like it seems like he's picked a specific spot on the boat and he's kind of just using it as the point of where the enemy is, and he's just constantly like kiting it and moving towards it.
Oh wow. He looks like a jungler to me.
A juggler?
A jungler. Oh, hi. Hey there, Ode.
Oh no, sorry. I was trying to make sure I heard you.
Yes. A jungler?
Yeah, like in did you ever go to the Coliseum and watch the
Legendary League.
the legendary League of Heroes? Like 3-lane battle system, and you have like ADC carry.
Oh, this is that picture book you read.
It's well, it's more of a scroll than a book, but yeah.
There's pictures in it.
It does have pictures, and like it's kind of cool. Sometimes if you like make the scroll go fast, the pictures kind of move, and it's like the characters on the page move, so it's like a moving picture.
Yes. No, I mean it's quite ingenious.
Mm-hmm. I call
you
it
mean
moving.
like television? Anyway, we will
I want to cut back over to Ode and Artuk, where you hear Ode saying, yeah, and so actually when they brought the man bat over to Broken Chain, over to the Wildlands, there was actually a mistranslation from bat to bird. So they thought that the person playing man bat could only be played by an Aarakocra. It was a whole big thing when they got that translation corrected.
I'm not gonna lie, until this conversation right here, I did not realize there was a distinction between bats and birds. I thought that bats were a kind of bird.
Oh wow! Yeah. Well, I can go into that with you. What many people think the distinctions are, but really, it's so hard to research bats that no one can know for sure.
I can understand that. They're only out at night, and we usually sleep then.
Exactly. And no one wants to be researching at night. That would be ridiculous.
You can't see it. You
Yeah.
can't see anything.
How can you research if you can't see?
You have to have a special team of dark vision researchers.
Shit, it's really easy.
Thanks for coming over, Morak.
It's like really easy to research things at night in D&D.
You know a lot about Mandat and Catharsis, which has its whole own
yes.
history.
Yes. Yes, it does.
You fancy.
I personally like it when Christopher Nolan did Man Bat.
Who's Christopher Nolan?
Oh, he's a great orchestra director.
cut. We're cutting it there.
Even better lover.
Oh, okay. Moving into the next morning. Morak, how do you prepare for your sparring match as everyone gathers and Kip is waiting in his sick denim jacket with his Shaolin spade?
Say anything while Morak was talking. I'm like 90% sure Kip didn't buy anything and we dressed up Krith in denim. So I thought Kip was still butt ass naked.
Kip is still naked as hell, though.
I thought we dressed up Kip in bomb ass denim, and the Ant-Man didn't need clothes
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
because
Okay.
he's got a
Do you remember, David?
Let's compromise. Let's say Kip is wearing sick denim pants, and Krith is wearing this cool denim jacket.
Perfect.
It specifically had boondocks all over it for some reason.
Yep,
Okay.
that's the Fabuncle special.
Morak wouldn't put on all of his armor. He'd probably just put on like his gauntlets and his like boots. Like maybe like shin. He doesn't wear all of it just to spar. He only puts that on when he needs to. But he would just have his shield and his longsword. And just ask, like you just ask with work with Kip to decide if he should be using a shield or not. However, Kip's culture fights if they're more defensive or offensive. Morak would change his style to be that way.
Hey, psst, Morak.
Yes.
Do you want any help for the fight? Like a little bit of a, like a little.
But are you offering me drugs?
No, what? No, what? No, it's like religious enhancement.
I don't. We're just sparring. We're not fighting.
No, it's okay. Here, like this'll really come in handy.
Yeah, show me what you got.
Yeah, there you go. I cast a water walk on it.
Oh, sweet, thank you.
All right, go get him, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
You can walk on water now.
Awesome.
You see, as you guys are doing this, you see Kip basically at one point. He's still just practicing the entire time. You guys all went to bed, so you don't know if he actually went to bed. You certainly missed it if he did, but you see him as you prepare, kind of just focus his mind and then just press his fingers to the ground, and then just this purple this 10-foot diameter just circle of light kind of appear. It's and like with a division, so just like two halves, and he goes to one half of it, just kind of on the deck of the ship.
Morak will go to the other side.
What is Morak's first question? Because part of this was also you asking him some questions. So
Yeah.
are you just going silent to fight?
I'm just going in. I have like my sword out. I got my shield like kind of almost on, like kind of holding on to it. It's like, so are you more of a offensive or defense? Like, should I have my shield out?
As you do this, Kip just rushes you and moves towards you. You bring out your shield, and then he just disappears for a second. Everyone else who is watching sees Kip basically materialize in the air and basically just jab his the Shaolin Spade into Morak's hand and just throw the shield to the side and just across the ground, just outside of the ring.
Oh wow.
And then kind of just spin and just bring the not the blade, but the metal part of the blade, the non-sharpened bit, and just crashes it into the back of Morak's head.
Some would say the flat of the blade.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Also high.
Yeah, are you? What the fuck?
Okay. We're doing it this way then. And Morak will like double hand the sword, and he's just gonna go at it. He's so he's like right behind him right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of if I can use anything that Fritz has taught me from fencing for this. But he's behind me right now.
Yeah, he's behind you. He's just disarmed your shield and then just kind of giving you a smack to the back of the head that kind of lurched you forward.
Okay.
And he's just kind of stood with kind of half held as a spear, just kind of out right now, and then goes back into kind of a pose.
Okay, but he's behind me?
Yeah.
Okay, so from what I've learned from Fritz is that if you get behind someone, you immediately whip your sword around and you try to smack him from the back. And then I'm gonna try to do that, and if that doesn't work, I'm then gonna duck and then spin forward, like keeping it like near me, like that.
Okay.
Basically, just using like a typical foil technique of trying to like since you're too close to the person they're behind you, you got to whip it around and get them that way.
Okay. I'm gonna say that Kip is going to, after having just kind of smacked you and pushed you forward, going to just immediately rush and try to just swipe out your legs with with basically the whole of the blade. Not ignoring you, but kind of trying to knock you down before you can do anything to him.
Okay.
What do you? So I think Morek for your thing, sword.
You might want to turn up
flail.
the music box.
There's a sword, flailing. I'm gonna say a +5 for Morek. I'll say a +3 for Kip for this one, since he's kind of just not really responding, just kind of going at it.
Ah, god damn it.
Okay. As you do this, so Morek's kind of just going for a kind of quick thing to try to knock Kip back and then kind of rolling forward to get out of his way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Kip, you is kind of just moving so aggressively and trying to stay low that he misses the or your blade misses him, and he kind of does get the swipe against your legs. It doesn't quite knock you down, but it kind of just brings you both to an even stance as you just are like smack to the back of the neck, smack your legs. You're already just starting to feel like, ow, this fucking hurts. Thank goodness you put on your freaking greaves for today.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess since now we're uneven standing, I always imagine that since Morak wears full metal gauntlets, like kind of an orcish technique is they're willing to just grab a blade and then just like move it out of the way and then try to like get him with the sword. Like Morak's not really trying to like stab Kip. So I think he's gonna run up and try to grab the spade by the blade, bring it down, and then go at him.
So he's grabbing this. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'm going forward and I'm willing to just like grab the blade and like pull it down to get him off balance and then just like essentially punch him with the hilt of my sword.
I think Kip, he got the 2 hits on you. He's actually going to just be kind of watching and trying to react to this. So I'd say +3 for you, Kip, no bonus, as he's just kind of trying to watch and react to you.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Is that 19?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How does this look as you just...
I mean, it's like you see Kip, he's like got it out, and then Morak will just go forward, stop holding the blade with one hand, grab it, just move it out of the way, and just like give him a good punch, like right in the chest, just to be like, "What's up?" Like that last move was cheap. You tripped me.
As you kind of just give him a solid punch to the chest, Kip kind of like rolls back and kind of stays himself on the ground. And he actually drops the polearm and is going to just kind of run at you.
Morak's gonna use all of his traditional orcish wrestling techniques and just try to like grab him and throw him back.
Okay.
Just try to do just like a little roll and just like throw him over.
Because of how Kip... What's your strength?
Strength's 20.
Okay. You get a +5. Kip will get a +4.
Arn's gonna lean over to Odin and be like, I probably could, like give Morak some inspiration, but you know what? I feel like he could take a little bit of a little beating right now.
No, don't worry. I gave him.
Zach already tried to give him some drugs, and he like didn't want the drugs. But I'm sure you wouldn't turn down an inspiration.
Oh no, I'm not going to give it to him. I'm just saying I could.
Oh,
Dick.
You hear Morak just like, be like, I heard that.
Good.
It's okay, Byron. I gave him water walking.
I forgot we're on a boat.
do you guys know that scene in Firefly when they're like, "No, Cap needs to do it for himself," and the Cap's like, "No."
Okay, Morak, yeah, as you go in, you see Kip just kind of begin to rush at you, and what does this look like as you kind of take the momentum back from it?
It's just you see Kip throw down his weapon and he just rushes at Morak, Morak's not expecting this, so he just kind of like you see him deflect shit with his shield all the time. He's essentially doing the same thing, but just with like his forearm and just like swinging him back out of the way, just like using his momentum to just like fling him back. He doesn't get hit.
Yeah, as you see this, like just at the moment where you kind of connect, it seems like Kip wasn't expecting you to get that hit off just that quickly, because you see his weapon actually rematerialize in his hands, and he's like on the verge of bringing it down, but you sideswiping him, it just clatters to the side again. Let's see. So that was Kip won the first, Kip won the second. You just run these two. Okay. Kip stands up, just kind of steadies himself and looks at Morak, just sizes Morak up. Reaches out his hand, and the polearm rematerializes within it.
Ooh.
And he seems split for just a sec. He's not sure what to do. Morak, in this kind of moment of indecision, what do you do?
Oh shit.
Basically, if I can think of something before you can, then I'll go.
So Morak's going to Morak's gonna go like stick the sword in the hull of the ship, and then essentially do the same thing at him, but trying to like one up him. Since he can also do that rematerializing thing. I'm assuming he's like 10 feet away at this point. He's gonna stick the sword in the ground, like kind of run up against him, and then put his hand behind his back and also pull it out again and try to swipe him again.
Okay. I'm gonna say Kip, since you're trying the trick he just pulled on you.
I can do all of that in one action, technically.
Okay. I'm gonna say you have a +5 because that's just how your class works. I'm not gonna give you a penalty. Kip has a +6 because you are using the exact trick he pulled out or tried to pull.
Yeah. Well, I want to try to do it better than him. That's the thing.
Let's see if it works.
Oh, god damn it! I don't do it quick enough.
As you bring it down, you move. The adrenaline is just pumping in you, and you just rush over, and it's like you begin to materialize, but you got over there just a little too quick. And Kip just of the flat of the blade, just 3 strikes just to your chest and to your knees just before you can. And as the sword materializes, he ends up grabbing it. He isn't wearing a glove. You see just a little bit of this kind of like bluish blood kind of grip itself around it. And I'm gonna say, yeah, okay. Kip is just gonna try to throw you off the ship. So Kip is not the strongest boy in the world, but, well,
he's scrappy.
He's still gonna try. He's scrappy. Morak, you have a +5. Yeah, you would have a +5. Kip would have a +3.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me think of something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a response to this specifically, Kip is going to try this unless you have like a specific thing.
You know what? I'm gonna roll, but I'm not rolling to not get thrown off. I'm trying to pull him out with me, use his momentum to throw him off the ship with me.
I will say you get a +7 then.
Okay.
Get it!
Oh, fuck.
Oh!
Well, wait, let's see. He can still beat this.
Yes! Wait, no.
Oh,
That's a
damn
20.
it. Well, that's not gonna happen again.
Oh, I mean,
I was like 27. Wait, it's not green.
Ah, god
You want an inspiration?
No, we're sparring.
just with your sword in hand and using his polearm, he just catapults you over the edge. But and as you kind of land in the water, you begin to sink down, and then have a little bit of a violent jut as your feet do not go below the surface.
And he like does the thing where his feet won't go below the surface and he lands on his butt, and it's kind of painful.
Yeah, he's just like, "Arr!" He's like trying to fling himself back up. Oh, and Morak's just wet and standing there, just like,
Oh, now you have to catch up with the boat too.
yeah. How quick's the boat going?
Fast enough that Morak's gonna have to put a little hustle in. You're not gonna lose the boat, but you are gonna have to chase.
Okay. Is that like a thing? Is anybody helping me? Do I have to crawl up this boat?
Oh,
Is
wait,
it
no,
like
you
a
have water
barge or is
walking
it a
on.
boat?
You're so
It's a,
feisty. You'll have to keep running.
Like, how big is it? A barge or a boat? Because a barge is kind of like not really that high above the water.
it's a barge. You could definitely. Someone should give you a hand.
Nope.
I feel like we
Assholes!
stand at the edge of the boat and we're like,
You're an asshole.
more lost. You have to. This is part of your lesson. You're learning how to defeat the illithids by getting into the boat by yourself.
It's important.
An important life lesson, really.
Mm-hmm.
Kip puts his hand on Byron's shoulder next. So, who is
Hi
next?
there.
I mean,
I feel like you're propositioning me right now based off the face that God was just making.
He's gonna
I think
try
he
to
wants to
shove
fight
Byron
you.
off the boat. No, Kip won't do that. He does. Nah, he won't.
if he does, Artuk will step in the way and body block.
Does
Well,
it, is
what-
anyone?
what-
I feel like Ode,
apologies.
you should
My
fight
humor
him.
is perhaps a bit off from the rest of yours.
So I'm impressed.
I mean, if you want to keep this thing going,
Is anyone going to pull him up?
More. You see,
He's learning his lesson.
you see Morak.
Wise lesson indeed.
You see more. Like you guys look back at Morak, and he's gone.
Hmm.
He's gone. And then you see him majestically jump out of the water like a dolphin and land on the boat.
oh yeah, because water walk, right?
No.
Yeah.
He now has alter self, which can give him gills and fins.
Oh.
And you see Morak somewhat aquatic, like Shark Boy.
And we'll just pretend that Zeka politely took water walk off for him.
Well, does water walk like? Oh, okay.
You're allowed to not walk.
Yeah, you can do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
water walk doesn't require you to water walk. You can
After
still
a
sink if
certain
you
point,
want.
Zeka's like, I'm not burning a spell or my concentration on this anymore. He can swim.
No, I just realized that since I get a swimsuit of 40 feet. Oh
Well,
wait,
it's 40 feet
oh.
per 6 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I think I can swim as fast as a dolphin right now.
Anyway,
No, that's where I'm at.
Kip returns back to the center. Would anyone else like to have a go?
Oh, you should do it.
Actually, I was kind of more interested in learning about what Kip had to offer in terms of his knowledge about the illithids. Maybe we could get Morak back on the boat and have a group talk about that.
Yeah, he disappeared below the wave.
Any
I
of
think
you
he might be drowning.
Well, you turned yourself into a dolphin. Can you not turn yourself into a giraffe and get back on the boat?
I'm on the boat.
Oh. No, we were not going to help you.
What the fuck?
I'm
It's okay,
gonna
you're
quickly.
having great control.
I'm gonna tug
Appreciate
on
that.
Ode's robes real quick at like saying like I like come down. I want to like talk to you.
Oh, yeah, Ode squats down, puts her ear like...
I
Next.
think this dude is like super horny for. Zach, I wouldn't say that. I think this dude's like really likes fighting like a lot, and I think we have to earn his respect before he's willing to talk to us about stuff.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective, Zeka. I hadn't thought about it like that. He kind of just whipped Morak's ass. Do you think I could take him?
No, we did cheap shit. It was cheap.
Well,
Do you think it'd
you're
be
like,
considered cheap if I like black holed him off of the boat?
Yes, that would also be cheap.
Well, then maybe Byron should fight him.
I feel like you're like way stronger than Morak, though.
Hey, Byron.
Me or Ode?
I was
Maybe not.
whispering. I'm talking to Ode, Byron. AB
sorry.
conversation. See yourself out.
joined the conversation. Byron, do you want to fight him? I think that'd be really cool with all
Don't.
your with all your gravitational bullshit.
How about
You
we
mean my
don't?
one gravitational bullshit?
How about we don't
Yeah, maybe not on the boat.
summon
Actually,
black holes on the boat?
I mean, I can heal him.
All right. I mean, twist
I can
my
make him feel
arm.
good about
It's
himself.
not him I'm worried about. It's the boat.
I guess I could fight him if y'all wanted me to. I don't know.
You think he'd feel
His
like it's
ass,
cheap?
yes.
No. I mean, you think he'd think it's cheap to fight me and Zeka? Two people half his age, or I guess a quarter of his age if he's been in that tank for that long.
Hmm.
well, why don't
No.
we ask him? And Ode kind of stands up and she gestures for Kip to listen, and she's like, Kip, we want to show you that we as a party think that we are capable of being respectable in combat. And we did see you kind of whip Morak's ass. What do you think would be comparable to your level of skill among us?
Morak's just trying to flick water off himself. He's just so fucking pissed right now. He goes over, grabs his sword. It's like,
Truthfully,
We had the idea.
for my people, we had an expression. Don't judge a blade until it's been tested. So any of you could prove my equal, but I'll certainly make you work for it. However, kind of looks over at Zeka.
Hi.
How tall is Zeka, real quick?
I think canonically he's 5'3".
Wait, really?
Little baby.
Yeah, he's 14.
No 14-year-old goat man.
no, he's old baby boy.
And he's still kind of short for his age too.
Well, yeah, the goat legs don't help.
Yeah.
I think there's just place.
Oh yeah, sheep legs. He's even shorter than that. He's like a foot taller than Kezius. He was 3 feet tall.
Yeah. I think Zeka's just kind of hanging out with me.
His nose.
Zeka's Milosh is flying around him right now, and he's kind of hanging out with him, not being kind of aloof.
Points at Zeka.
Ooh.
Whoa, the child?
I think you're
In my culture, we draw blood first when we are 5, and to not have a first kill before 7 is considered a grave dishonor. So let the child prove his mettle.
Well,
Morak's walking over to get his sword and just be like, this child has killed 47 people since I've been with him for the past 6 months. Because he kind of I understand.
Hey.
I'm whispering to Kip. I understand
Oh,
that
okay.
you're trying to be badass and you kicked my ass earlier. I'm still a little bit pissed about that. It was kind of cheap. You threw me off the boat. I thought we were sparring. But don't attack him too much. He might lose his shit and shoot lightning everywhere. Okay, have fun. And I'm gonna pat him on the back a little bit too hard and walk away.
Once
Morak off the boat again.
once Kip says about let the youngling fight, Ode will say, well, I think Zeka would be great at that. Let's maybe make some more clear rules about you and Morak were actually hitting each other. Maybe you can just do
a giant
gotta
saw
touch
blade
on you.
descends from the heavens straight towards Kip right now.
Are you pulling a sneak attack on him?
Yeah, as Ode is talking, it's around her back, I've thrown the disc.
+7 for this one, because he is certain between Ode and Morak, he was not expecting it. All right, let's see.
It's a 15 to hit.
Well, okay. So did you? So I'm
Or
gonna roll a d20, and if he is below 15, because he's unawares, I'm gonna give him a -1.
gotcha. This, just so you know, it happened to be +7.
Okay.
So
Hey, there you
it
go.
ends up,
Yeah, that's
yeah, it
easy.
ended up working out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How does this look as between Kip not expecting it?
I think the saw blade is blunted because I don't want to like
It's a
completely
spell.
eviscerate him, huh?
It's a spell. You can't make it non-lethal.
Yeah, I know, it's fine.
But
Well,
it's
it's for, like
fine.
the narrative sense of sparring.
Yeah.
It'll be fine, or it won't.
So I'm imagining it like it comes around the right side of Ode and it kind of clips him in the heels and it kind of not like fully knocks him prone, but it like makes him stumble a little bit and definitely like it kind of hits into his Achilles and knocks him off balance.
Cuts into his Achilles, cutting them completely. He can now no longer walk.
Grows a second pair of legs. I don't know. He's an alien. He could do that.
And then I'll bring the disc back and I'll have it like floating around me and I'll hand over shit, what did we name the lizard?
Pumpernickel.
Pumpernickel. I'll hand Pumpernickel to Byron and say, "Hold my Pumpernickel."
Byron also grabbed Zeka by the scruff of the neck and go, "Don't forget, spells kill people.
Yeah.
Don't kill Kip." Also, here you go, and he'll shove like the dead Heart of Chaos to Zeka's forehead and give him a fortune's favor.
And Ode, seeing that the combat just started, will like look around a little panicked and just like flip out of the way.
Don't kill me, Zeka. Don't kill Kip. Also, hi, Pumpernickel. Please don't bite me.
Oh, already has started to bite into your boot. Has not getting into it, but it's kind of like those sharp teeth like new puppies have.
Oh, puppy teeth.
That it's just like he's got a grip on it.
It's just painful enough.
How
Kip on getting sneak attacked. Looks around and seeing Ode kind of flip out the way. Deceitful. Good. And he is going to whip his spear, and it's gonna do it almost like a little spin through the air, almost like helicopter blading towards you. What are you doing in response to this helicopter blade coming at you?
Yeah, we're doing this kind of like this is jazz, right? We're not.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Don't go too insane, but don't
right.
get restricted.
I think Zeka will pull the spiritual weapon that came back to him forward, and he'll have it. He'll like draw his hands in a circle, and it'll and he pops a biscuit in his mouth, and it'll expand and provide a small protective shield of faith for him, trying to deflect the sphere.
+4.
So I like this. This is fun.
I like this a lot. Mary, great suggestion. This is way more fun.
Yeah.
Yay!
Jesus Christ. The notifications are preventing me from... Okay. Ooh, he just beats me, I think.
Yeah. As it brings it down, you see this... you see kind of this ray of holy light begin to kind of cascade around you. However, this is no match for Kip's sheer fucking anger, as you see, it's almost like chips of, crystal or glass, where the, holy magic is, kind of, crack apart as this just kind of impacts you, and then immediately dematerializes on that, as Kip just kind of calmly begins to, walk more towards, the center of the improvised ring.
Okay.
Don't forget you have my fortune's favor, Zeka.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I think Zeka... Okay, here's what Zeka's gonna do. Zeka's gonna throw some magic missiles in his direction, but rather than hitting him, they're gonna go past him, and he's gonna think that they missed, but they actually hit a couple of ropes holding some cargo, and they're gonna start falling behind him, and they're gonna knock him over, and while he's off balance, the spiritual weapon's gonna come back and clock him in the chin.
I'm gonna say plus
David's
6.
balancing like how would that work versus oh that's really cool.
I'm gonna say plus 6 for that, plus 4 for Kip.
All right.
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Do
Oh,
I?
I don't actually see it, so there it is.
It's 19. Do I do
Team
it? You know what?
Fortune's
Yeah,
favor.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna do it. Let's go.
Yes.
How's this looking? How's this looking?
Okay. What cargo would make sense to be behind him?
Beans.
For this, probably just a thing of
Beans.
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 Fuck it.
Beans.
The Forsaken
Yeah.
Wastes are great at producing pinto beans.
It's just all pinto beans.
Hell yeah. So there's a barrel of pinto beans, and he knocks one of the ropes off, and one of the barrels falls out, and a giant array of pinto beans, like dried, so they're super hard, scatter out in like ball bearings. He's knocked off balance, and then he gets clocked in the chin by the spiritual weapon as it flies forward.
All right. Kip? What would Kip do? Yeah, I know what Kip's gonna do. I wasn't expecting to use this until an actual fight. Kip is going to slam his hand down on the ground, and you see this kind of faint purplish little aura begin to surround him.
Oh shit.
Or surround his hand. He's gonna drag it back and just whip it forward, and you see just as if like just suddenly little jet streams behind it, all these pinto beans just begin to kind of race towards Zeka like little tiny bullets, as just some kind of like magical bullshit just begins to like propel like a wave of these things at you.
Okay. I think Zeka's response is you'll see his eyes glow blue, and he's using his detect magic so that he can see the pathing that he's trying to use with the beans to help him dodge the beans.
One have more chicken.
Okay, yeah, I will say I'm gonna say both you and Kip have a plus 6 to this.
Sick. Whew, oh my god, David.
The beans are simply too much.
Apparently.
But yeah, as it is, it's just like an array of just hardened pebbles just start beginning to impact against you, and they're not doing like a lot of damage, but it's just this constant barrage that is just peppering you, and just like it is so hard to focus. And then just out from behind, as you're like trying to like cover and like blind it, you just get cold cocked in the forehead by Kip, who's just ran up behind it.
Oh, so he's on me now?
He is in front of you, and he just full on punched you just right in the forehead.
Okay, I think Zeka takes that punch, and Zeka's not too used to like melee combat, so he definitely stumbles back a bit and is like taken aback, and a little bit of a glimmer in his eye will show, and he'll cast Spiritual Guardians as an array of Italian chefs will start picking up the pinto beans, frying them up into refried beans, and hurling them into his face.
Italian chef?
It's fucking not Linguini. I can't remember the name of Linguini's father from Ratatouille.
Gustav. It's Gustav. It's a shit ton of Gustav, and
Spoilers.
Fucking Patton Oswalt out here.
Yeah, and it's obviously flavor, but yeah, just a shit ton of like flaming pinto beans after being sautéed up or being hurled into his face. After he calls Spirit Guardians.
Okay, you'll get a plus 7 because that's just what you do, and I know how fucking effective this is. Kip is going to just honestly try to just kind of not punch you again, but kind of just use the fact that he's up close and try to just grab you and hold you over the edge of the boat again.
Oh, jeez.
You've got this, Zeka!
For this, I'll
Oh, jeez.
give Kip a +3 just because that's what he used when he was trying to throw Morak off.
Oh,
This, Zeka, I'll give you an inspiration.
oh, really?
Of
Wow.
course, it's only a D8.
Are you
Oh,
sure you want to
well,
bother?
I will wait on that D8. Ah, shit. Ow.
Well, you can.
Yeah, Kip's able to grab a hold of you just by the scruff of
Wait,
the
is Kip
scruff.
trying to throw Zeka off the boat?
Kip, we'll get to that in just a second. Kip grabs him, kind of rushes him to the edge of the boat, and is just kind of holding Zeka over there as these refried bean pastes just begin to land on him and scorch him. But Kip is basically just holding Zeka like this over the edge of the boat.
Ooh, ooh. How's it going? It's pretty fun fight, huh?
You've used deception and all manner of trickery. And he kind of just begins to shift you back over the boat.
Yeah!
Good tools to use. Excellent work.
Oh.
It's a terrible influence.
And you'll see behind Zeka's back, there's this like crackling black necrotic energy as he was preparing a high level inflict wounds, just like fade out, and he's like, "Yeah, yes, good fight. I was done with it as well."
Morag walks back from getting the salad. And he's just eating the salad. And he sees Kip just put him back down on the boat. As Morag still squish. He's like, and he looks at the ground and just sees beans everywhere. He's like, okay. And he goes over to try to find the ship captain to go buy a crate of beans.
You see the
Crazy.
ship captain looking over this, just like, what am I gonna do?
Well, you got a new product.
Morag's still eating the salad. He's like, how much for the crate of beans? I'm sorry.
Give me a few minutes, alright? I need to look over the fucking manifest.
It's fine. I'll wait here and eat my salad.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks.
There's
Thank
a
you
little-
all so much for being good passengers. He walks below.
Wow.
This is also the ship we paid off to wait a few extra hours while we went
Mm.
shopping.
I didn't give him real money. I gave him a 30 in credit. Basically,
In-
the same as whatever the hell Byron keeps finding.
An
Oh, yeah,
IOU.
like-
Yeah.
Hey, it's helpful in Leon.
Just where are you going? Handy.
Hey Kip, where'd you learn how to fight like that? You're very good at it.
Thank you, small one. I was raised by my clan to partake in the hunt. My father actually taught me that.
Yeah, that was that little trick you did where you threw all those beans at me was crazy, dude. How'd you do that?
He kind of just summons Byron. You recognize it? Chaos magic, a little bit of that
Oh,
gravity
okay.
spice, and just this kind of like almost black hole looking thing in his hand. Not quite black hole, more like kind of like almost like astral, like stardust effect, kind of just floating in his hand.
That's
Oh,
Another
like
useful
Radon
tool.
throwing the meteorites.
A little bit.
Gotcha.
A useful skill developed over the course of time.
Whoa, that's really cool.
If I may say, thank you all. It has been some time since I have had a chance to use my skills, and it was a delight to put them on display once again.
Zeka will turn to Ode and wink super hard, like super excited, and then look back at Kip.
Owen like nods openly back at Zeka, like, yeah, you did it. You did good.
Well, I'm off to bed now.
Well, actually, Mr. Kip, weren't you possibly going to tell us more about what you call the illithids?
Apologies. The moment after a fight, it's always a bit of a haze. Yes,
It makes it sound like he just came.
You can't talk to me during cum brain. Come on.
No, this is the most clear-headed he's been all week.
Just don't ask him a hard question.
Don't try to talk to him about what curtains we should have in our bedroom.
Oh, guys, this is why
An
I've been so
idea.
pent up.
You see Morak walk over and just wringing out his shirt. Like, yes, please, let's talk about the illithid.
Oh, Morak, you could have just asked, and I could have, dried you instantly.
Well, I would have thought you would have helped me up the boat anyway, but I guess I can't count on you for anything now, Byron.
Ship captains walk up. Yeah, it's gonna be 5 gold, and he hands over a little clipboard to Morak. I'm gonna need you to sign here to certify you are responsible for the damage. Yeah.
Fuck name, son of Ghost, all that.
That's bad. Whatever.
Yeah. It's fine, don't worry about it.
For the
I
beans,
won't.
I'll do it for free, and he'll snap you dry with Presto.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, can we talk about the squid face people?
you're the one who keeps derailing us, Morak.
I'm wet.
Why
No, you're not. You're dry.
I was, and it's now weird.
Why do y'all keep saying illithid? What the fuck? It's mind flayers.
Or he calls them that, so I'm trying to be conscious too.
You're trying to be inclusive.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Well.
Well,
Pretty, they
Star-
are mind
Star
fucky,
what? Oh.
and they like brain.
We know that they've been doing some sort of experiments on creatures. Clearly, like you were in a test tube, and we found other creatures that are native to our world. We found that they have layers in caves and bunkers, like deep underneath the ground, like almost laboratory type areas. And we know the general location of maybe one more of them, but we don't really quite understand what they want and what they're doing here and anything like that, or how far away they are from actually being more of them here.
Oh, and they serve the Dawn Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
I find it very difficult to believe they serve anything other than themselves, but I have something of a history with them. As for some of your other questions, yes, they are the ruins that you found that I was inside of, which thank you for releasing me. Sorry, it's been a tense couple of days. But yes, they often would use the ships there to transport between worlds, carry different fodder for their experiments, and their goal, in not so many words, is subjugation, and in their words, ascension, whatever that truly means. They are a parasite. They travel the cosmos, travel and carry across the stars, and they find different worlds to leech until they are nothing. My world was one such world. We resisted, and rather than allow us to be bled, we turned our world into something of a weapon against them. What I know is they found members of my species and they turn them against us, other worlds, and they make minions of it, erode their minds, turn them against it, whatever it may be. I remember finding a member of my clan once, mind horribly twisted. I believe his skin was entirely gone and had several extra arms. I don't understand why.
So, did you and your people ever find an effective way to resist their mind control powers?
What I do know is the more you're in proximity, there's a way to resist in a manner of speaking. The more you're exposed to them, you can be trained to see the signs of their influence. And it isn't as simple as a switch is flipped and you are suddenly under their thrall. They can do that, certainly. They can turn you against others, but it's quite difficult. But what I find the much more insidious version is the slow drip. Bit by bit, the exposure to them, to their tools, to their techniques, and you find yourselves thinking like them, resonating with them. You see kind of a far off look in his eye for a second.
Zeka looks at our Morak.
Ode also looks at Morak.
Morak looks at Morak.
Morak's just wide-eyed,
Hey.
staring at the floor.
Hey, Arta, could you do me a favor and roll perception?
Easily. That would be 23. Oh wait, I don't have advantage, so 14. Don't know why that rolled with advantage.
Anya's listening pretty intently at this point.
Gotcha.
Just
Ode will ask of Kip, do you think there's any way that we could use their tools to help us figure out more about where they might be located or how to stop them? Or is using their tools just something inherently like that would only be bad?
the balance. My people hunted them for centuries, going on perhaps millennia at this point since I've been gone. They don't have a singular world. They aren't, there's no capital, there's no one spot. They move, they drift. Those ruins that I was pulled from are one ship among many of this massive flotilla as best we could find. They exist in the stars and are constantly moving and constantly festering and leeching off of the life of those around. Perhaps we could find them, and there is a manner of target that is worth pursuing. I don't know how much you're aware of this, but as they grow stronger, they collect their knowledge. They pool it into a single living being, a form of brain, which the ones on the ship are similar, but taken to a much larger scale. These act as something of a center to them. If you sever that connection, well, I can say certainly it hurts them a great deal.
Mhm.
And it. So, regarding your initial question, though, of using their technology, tread lightly. I've used their technology, and I believe that I'm fine. But equally, why would they let me know that I've been corrupted? Perhaps in 20 minutes, I'll decide it's a very, very good idea to put my blade through your neck. Or perhaps your blade through mine. This enemy, you have to choose who to trust.
Seems like you can't even
And
trust
it's
yourself.
not easy.
Well,
I mentioned my father trained me. He trained me a bit better than him. And he materializes his blade. When I put this through his heart, I didn't feel any regret, but I was sad for it. This man who led us, who saw us through a great many battles, turned against us, and no one saw it coming. Half of our ship gone, turned to stardust in an instant. What can I do though? He's gone, and the hunt continues.
well, that's what we want to know. We can't find them wherever they are up in the stars, but how do we stop them from getting to our world more than they're already here?
Well, if you said there were ruins that you could pursue, I would start there. It is a risk, undeniably, and perhaps it will be a risk too far, but if you've provoked their wrath, if they are coming here, that may be the only chance you are dealt. So, I would recommend finding a way. I would recommend those ruins. Perhaps they have an answer. I don't have an exact one. If they wish to come here, either make ourselves scarce or stop them before they get here. But if you can't get up to them, then they will come down to us.
Well, and what do you think you'll do next, Kip?
He just kind of looks up at the sky. Wait, I suppose.
It's our planetary new Panther generation! We join Kip when a rescue ship comes for him! Okay, that was just, okay, just me. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
Oh, no,
I
I
really
love
like
the
it.
idea.
Yes.
Kip is not the person who would cheer for it. Is the problem?
Oh, I don't know if Owen cheered for it or if that was me.
Oh well, no, fuck yeah, interplanetary new Panther intergalactic generation.
Hey, y'all, if you want to
Yeah,
play
that's
music, you do
right.
have to clear the queue and then play your music. Just so you know.
New intergalactic Panther generation. New intergalactic Panther. You need something with an S instead of generation. Then we nips.
About Neon Genesis Panther Galleon.
And so Owen says, well, however much you need help waiting, let us know.
Thank you. Regarding this, I'll give me some time to think. I'll see if I can't remember anything else that may be useful. Or perhaps in those ruins, I can make my way there.
Yeah, I mean, we could show you where the ruins are on the map. Like, we know where they are. Eventually, we're probably going to head that way, and so if you want to wait for reinforcements to show up, we'll get there eventually, and we could use a hand.
Do you pull out the map?
I mean, yeah, why not, right?
And he's like, wait, what is this? You have your world on paper? That doesn't make any sense.
You don't have it on a mind?
You don't have it on a mind portal? Come on.
You have contacts that you put in and then you can see everything. It's called Google Glass.
He pulls out his iPhone.
Pulls out a Garmin. Well, I suppose I know where I'm headed then.
Yeah, if you, I mean, you can take it on, go in yourself if you want, but if you think it'd be useful to have a couple of folks backing you up, stick around out there, pull up until you see us, and we'll be there.
Also, if you find a warforged who's kind of tall, leaner, has like a cape and a hat, I don't know if he still has the cape and the hat. He might be wanting to do the same thing as you.
There's a blade for
He goes by Sinner.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
This seems hugely useful. Very well. I think I have an excellent idea of where I'm going. He starts to like he pulls out a pen. It's a ballpoint pen. None of you understand it. And he begins to write down a quick note on his hand. Sinner. He turns it around. It's an entirely alien language. You have no idea whether he spelled it right.
Yes,
It's
Sinner.
I love the idea of him meeting Sinner and being like, "Are you Sinner?" And Sinner being like, "How is it spelled?"
Wait, are we gonna slowly send all of our NPCs to another adventuring party?
Yeah.
You guys are just setting up how the other half
Yep.
lives.
Yeah, there's gonna be what's the girl, like Isabel,
Gabrielle.
yeah. Gabrielle, the little pyro girl.
Oh, I forgot about her. I thought she was an adult woman.
Well, she's like 14.
What?
She's right on the edge of womanhood.
You're thinking of Miguel, who is the pyromaniac, Eric. That one you sent just into the wasteland.
Yeah.
As you guys turn across, you see an immense stretch of forest that's utterly destroyed by wildfire. Nah, you
Yes.
don't. Otherwise, we have to have Artuk grapple with
Yeah,
that.
that would be rough.
Oh, I think that would be worth it. Oh.
But yeah, as you guys finish up, do you have any other questions for Kip?
I think Ode asked everything she wanted to ask.
Have you ever seen in your journeys these creatures create mechanical beings of any sort?
Of a kind. He kind of raises his hand and a little illusion appears, and it's almost like a bat-like creature. Like, think like a bat face, but on like a six-legged creature with like not wings, but like almost like pincers, like you would see a scorpion, and just like various like mechanical like plates applied to the skull and along the back, and like almost like not exactly Sonny's Warforged cannon, but like mechanical components resembling like almost like a blaster affixed to one of the ends. Oftentimes, they would attempt to affix certain things, certain conquered technologies. Though, much more so, he would let it kind of dissolve, and then it would reappear. Same basic creature, the kind of bat-like face, 6 legs, but this time way hugely, like, overdeveloped muscles, like graphs of, like, not human, but like bipedal arms holding swords. Like, kind of just like how Elden Ring sees an animal and attaches swords to it. Kind of like if you took an alien and attached swords and arms to it.
Okay.
They favor a bit more on the augmentation side rather than something mechanical.
Interesting.
Delightful.
Goes on. And Kip is going to pick up a pinto bean,
Break
spit it out, and then walk below
break
deck.
his tooth immediately and
Yeah, let them soak and then like boil them.
This is worthless as a food.
really.
He just throws it overboard.
High in protein. Try to get them gains.
Kip doesn't believe in gains.
He believes in
Always
quicks.
on a cut. Kip's always on a cut.
Always cutting. He is on the verge of death.
So skinny.
Yeah, as you guys go, yeah, I think unless you guys have anything else, I was probably going to kind of fade into night.
Yeah, Morak will probably just spend the rest of the day like kind of sparring with himself. Just trying to get back into the groove of it.
I think Ode will spar with Morak if he wanted to. He was just kind of intimidated by Kip.
He would appreciate that.
Byron will probably
You guys,
approach Zeka and talk them.
Hey, how's it going? We were just getting dinner ready for the night.
Oh, you probably noticed I've been a little bit quiet lately. Existential crises. You know how it goes. I've got two things. I'll start with the fun one. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. So you know how like a spell went wrong and you got fused with a goat.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think because I've been watching like how Arta can like change into different animals, and I've been trying to like mix that with like my knowledge from the other timeline with like the chaos magic that I have now to possibly like get things to work. To like maybe change people's forms, like maybe if I could work with you two guys, I might be able to make a spell that like morphs people into like multiple people. I've been toying with like the phrase polymorph, because it can morph you into a lot of different things.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is Byron thinking that he's coming up with the spell polymorph?
Byron can think what he likes.
Hey, magic doesn't work here, so as far as everyone else is concerned, Yes.
Who knows? Maybe he did reinvent the
Are
wheel.
there people in the party that know polymorph?
I don't actually
No.
think so.
The only person who could learn it.
Would be Artuck, right?
Yeah, I have access to it.
Yeah.
So Archie can correct them.
Polymorph.
But I think true polymorph. I don't think can druids learn that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
not like as a spell, but like, no, actually, no. Never mind. No.
You think of shape change?
Oh, yep.
But yeah, and Byron will take out
That's-
a sheet of paper that's like just it's horrifically crumpled and it's got really shitty runes drawn on it. He's like, so like I know that like based off of like the memories from like the other timeline, these should work, but magic's broken here. So I'm figuring maybe if I take some like chaos runes, kind of like wedge them in there randomly, it might work. 'Cause, like, I'm sure whenever I cast like my normal spells that shouldn't work here, like chaos runes kind of like get involved. That way I can, cast a spell using my knowledge from the other timeline. So like I'm wondering if you guys have seen where that kind of comes in or anything like that.
Zeka's gonna take a long, hard look at the sheet of paper, like a long look, and then he's gonna turn back to Byron, and he's gonna be like, well, like, I see what you're doing here with the cardamom, but like, what if you added a little bit of flour, like right at the end step here?
That's hilarious.
Do I have flour anywhere else in this by chance?
Well, yeah, you have it here and here, and then he'll point out the parts that to him are flour.
I'll take out a pen again and just kind of slowly write it in at the end.
Slowly. Yeah, exactly. And here, Artuk, like, how does this make sense to you? Like, do you guys see where I'm going with this?
I don't understand how you can make any sort of reasonable recipe with only mushrooms.
Wait, so all of this looks like mushrooms to you? Okay, so all of this is mushrooms to you. All of this is baking ingredients to you.
Wait.
Comes over and she just sees a diagram of like energy flowing through her body.
Oh no.
Wait.
Oh, Byron, are you working on a spell? Do you want some of my books on runes?
They're all in order.
Okay. Wait, what are they in?
Orcish.
Oh wait, I can read that. Give it to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, flip through and it goes like, okay, this is flour.
Yes.
No. That's
And then you'll turn to Artuk and go, and this is shiitake mushroom.
I mean, that's what the
Or
voices would tell me.
You're seeing like basic spell theory and like stabilizing runes.
And this is a cremini mushroom. and Zeka, this is pecan.
And that's the and Morik, that's the basic orcish rune for empowering and amplifying a spell. It's a little tricky to use.
That's the one that just looks like a 7. Like, what are you?
And then Byron will like just kind of take back out his sheet, draw like a random chaos rune, and like, and Zeka, what is this to you?
Oh,
It's smudge.
that's paprika.
Okay, that's paprika, and Artuk.
I don't know what that is, but the voices got really loud when I looked at it. I'm not gonna really stare at that too long.
Okay,
Ooh.
and Ode, what is this?
Not a key thing. Sorry.
Fair enough. And finally, Morak, what is this rune to you?
Splorge. How do you not know what the splorge is?
The Spolge.
Mark, is that the word you made up for the magic runes that you copied off of the?
I don't know what's going on. I just made up a word.
All right. Okay. So
Oh, that's the rune of death in Orcish magic.
and with that, Byron's just gonna kind of press his fingers into his head and just rip it up, and then just randomly arrange it,
Oh God, no! Don't do that.
Ooh.
and then go. All right. Zeka, does this look like an actual recipe to you?
I mean, I don't know why you would put candied pecans with vinegar, but like, I, it, it's
You have
it's
to have a little bit of acid to balance out the sweet.
mm,
Wait. Can I try something? And Morak
Sure.
takes one of them and turns it 90 degrees.
Zeka?
oh,
I
okay.
think that would work.
Okay, and Artak.
You're trying
Yeah.
to turn into a pony, right?
Well, I'm just trying to figure this out at all. Artak, can you look at this and just,
From the shadows, you see a blaster cannon of Sunny's arm begin to form in your sentence.
Hang on, I'd never thought about like writing the sequences down before. Hang on.
Really? How do you do it then?
I mean, I just remember them, and when I don't remember them, they get whispered to me mostly. It's a little creepy, but
lightly creepy. Perfect.
actually, though, if you write it like this, can you? And for a second, Artuk looks at it, and he goes and he starts to just sort of scratch out a few of the ones that you had in the middle, and starts to push together, or almost wrinkle what you were writing on, so that the first and the last ones get read together. And it's like it's shorter that way, and it does. And he sort of just looks at it for a second. Artuk's gonna look up and just look across the room, and Artuk is going to go ahead and just cast polymorph on. Can you cast it on Milosh? No, that wouldn't make any sense, right?
Okay,
Wizard.
Then I'll cast it on Pumpernickel briefly. But as I wrinkle the paper together so it's shorter, I am going to spend 2 sorcery points to quicken the spell.
What?
What the fuck?
And this is a good narrative flavor for taking the feat Metamagic Adept.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And so I'll cast as a bonus action Polymorph on Pumpernickel and turn him into a sheep.
Oh my god!
Oh no, it's spreading.
Barnacle. Oh, all right. Okay, so that's actually exactly what I was going for. So Byron will try to hold it in the Titan thing and point it.
The sheep begins to try to bite.
I didn't realize you could do it shorter like that. Hang on. This is this opens up a whole world of possibilities. I didn't know you could change the way that things were ordered around. Fuck.
Byron will try to cast it like that. I'm assuming it immediately fails.
Ode will lean over to Zeka and say, "This got way over my head really fast."
Maybe and he'll straighten it back out, and he will put his hand on Zeka's shoulder and cast polymorph to make him fully human.
Oh my god!
Holy fuck! I did
Does
it!
it work?
Does that work?
Hold on.
His knees are still inverted.
As you begin to do this, Zeka, yes, your legs, it kind of just begins all around you, and for just for a few seconds, you kind of feel this kind of same faint, almost fizzing energy around your and you suddenly have a bit of an uncomfortable flashback to the night of the incident, and you're like, oh god, fight or flight immediately kicking off, and you begin literally trying to kick away from it for just a second, and then in just a flash, there is a blast of light, and your legs are before you once again. They are, yes, Mary.
What creature did you turn him into?
Human.
What are the mental ability scores of a human?
Sorry, I turned him into a human Zeka.
Base 10 everything.
I don't
You feel a little slower.
You can find Zeka in the Monsters
It's
Manual.
not a Monsters Manual.
You're gonna have to try Acolyte, mister.
Alright, turn him into an acolyte with Zeka's face and body proportions.
Spell fails. No. Yeah, Zeka, before you, you have full feeling in your legs again as your actual legs. And weirdly enough, the shorts you were wearing the night of the incident.
Oh, thank God.
they're like stretched. They're kind of slightly hulking out just a bit, just like way too tight and like stretched out and like kind of ripping a little bit because
Wait, is it kind of like Full Metal where your legs are like super atrophied and like skinny?
actually, yeah, probably a little bit. Well, no, he polymorphed them, so they're not.
Yeah, he has normal human legs.
Yeah, these
Like
are
normal legs of an alakite.
Acolyte.
Acolyte. Made up word.
Oh my god.
It fucking worked. Zeka, you have human legs for 1 hour.
It's only an hour?
It's only an hour.
Well, oh, okay, sorry. No, I should still. Wow. Wow. And he's curling and uncurling his toes over and over and over again. Just like
Zeka, as repayment for constantly bringing me back to life, anytime that we are traveling and you want to have human legs, I will happily give them to you. Unfortunately, I can only do it twice a day.
So, by that logic of whenever you want, only sometimes, maybe?
Yes.
Zeka's just like tearing up and like and going into Byron and just giving him a hug. It's like the Zootopia hug where like he just puts his head into his chest and is just like crying his eyes out.
Pat his head and go, of course. Always happy to help. Especially if someone who always helps me.
I forgot what it was like to have legs. It feels really nice.
Pat, pat, pat. And thank you for helping me find the spell. Couldn't have done it without you. He'll turn, look at Artok and you, and he'll look at Morak and you, and he'll look at Odin and go, and your moral support.
Very genuinely at you mentioning her moral support.
Oh, you know what?
I think Ode will come over and she'll kind of like also pat Zeka on the back and she'll say, I think this is an amazing moment for you, Zeka. And also this is reminding me that I did want to just circle back around to what Kip said about killing lots of people at a young age and just say like on his planet, if that's fine, we can respect that. But you've had to deal with a lot where I think maybe it's important to remind you that you're in a unique situation where you have had to defend yourself. And I know it's a lot for you to have to do, and I'm impressed that you're always able to do it. But to remind you that violence most of the time in our cultures can be avoided and would be best to be avoided if it can be. You know?
I'm sorry, what?
Murder's bad, essentially.
Murder is generally bad.
Zeka's like just feeling his legs and like moving around and like you could he is it's not getting through to him, but it's like a kid who you just got him a DS for Christmas. Like
you tried to tell him about philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
it's going in one ear and out the other.
That's not getting through to Ode at all. He's like, what? And then we reiterate murder is bad, and he's like, and Ode's like, all right, good talk. Glad we had that, Zeka.
Zeka tries to kick a barrel and it hurts like a lot. He's like, oh, why did that hurt? Ow.
I feel like
you hurt yourself enough, you'll lose your legs.
I feel like you like have no idea how to walk.
No, he still has legs.
Well, yeah, but they're completely different bone shapes.
I mean, you know, he's wobbling a bit, but he walked for 7 years, or like 10 years. Wow, I just like, wow, I can jump again. Well, I could jump before too, but I could jump like humans do, and not like whatever I am.
You should try spending some time sneaking around with Kezia.
Guess yeah, I can be sneaky now. Oh, she's in the other
It's
room.
back.
Oh, she's sleeping again in a pickle barrel. Freak.
Wow. I can't believe this. I just simply can't. So at any time for like an hour?
I will say, let's do it on days where we're fairly certain we won't run into trouble.
No, yeah, that makes sense. What's your favorite kind of like dessert or bread or whatever? You get to pick.
Not necessarily. You've brought me back to life twice. I quite literally owe my life to you twofold.
I just want to make you like some bread or something.
I understand, and I appreciate it. This is my gift to you.
All right. Well, thanks. Thank you, everyone, for helping me get here. Wow. We killed like a lot of people to get here, though.
Countless. And
Yeah,
I believe
but-
you killed about half of them.
If I was to guess, I feel like Kip has killed way more than we have.
Yes.
That's probably
Like,
true.
his race seems pretty hardcore. I'm an orc, so that's saying a lot.
Hmm.
Byron, I'm really happy you got to do this for Zeka.
And Artuk, like, thank you for like figuring out the rest of this puzzle. You know, like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at it, and it's just like it's not clicking for me like it is for you two. It's just not.
I mean, no worries. It's not shit that I really know how to do. It's sort of gifted to me by someone I'd rather not hear it from, but I'm glad it could be helpful.
Speaking of voices in Ortuk's head, it seemed like we had a plan for the next steps of getting to Leon to charter a boat to try to get us closer to the forest that we need to go to. Artuk, do you happen to know where on the map the forest is generally?
Yeah, exactly where it is, actually. That was one of the first things that I got taught when I left. So essentially, so you see Gautera up there?
Yeah.
The forest that I grew up in is that forest surrounding sort of south of Gautera.
So we need to go to the forest you grew up in? I thought we were trying to go somewhere else.
No, it is the one that I grew up with. That was where the dreams have been sort of pointing me.
Oh wow, so you made a really big loop just to get back to there.
Yeah, no, it's gonna basically be
Called the hero's journey.
basically gonna be like, this path for me.
Um,
Oh my.
Oh, it's Australia!
It kinda is.
or
Upside down Ohio.
I was gonna say a bad
bit of
guy in
Texas.
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually
so
thought that too.
It's a car coming straight on at
But
you.
yeah, and I figure that's actually kind of okay located too, because we can keep on pushing past if we want afterward.
I was distracted by Eric.
Hey guys, good news. I found my new favorite pad map feature. It's the big ghost that eats the world.
It's actually the big bad. Well, I think I mentioned it. I'm happy we're going to Leon because there's this Ceruleanite monastery there. So I do think I'll want to check in with them. But other than that, I don't have too much else I'll need to do in Leon.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad there's something along the way that's useful to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, glad we have a game plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
time to go to bed.
No, anything else? Anyone else have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. As you all begin to head to bed, some with I'd say a very good night for most everyone. Morak maybe a little chuffed over the sparring, but I feel like it's reasonable to say seeing Zeka's joy at least softened the blow a little bit. Zeka, unfortunately, about an hour after Byron casts the spell on you, it does come to an end.
No,
But Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's like the scene from at the end of Shrek 2 when Donkey's getting changed back into a donkey, and he's just like really upset about it during the entire transformation. That is verbatim what's happening. He's just like, oh no, oh come on, no.
Here, I'm about to go to bed anyways. Turn it back on.
And then an hour later, no.
Okay. But as kind of day turns to night and you all find your rest, you wake up the next morning.
And that's the end of the session. A cool 2-hour session.
I've still got a bit of stuff.
Okay.
I've still got a bit of juice in the caboose.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
as you guys calm down, you dirty animals. As you guys wake up the next morning, you hear the slightly disgruntled captain kind of begin to go around and say, we're nearly in the city, if you guys want to get up. And it's about 5 in the morning.
a minute.
Listen, man, I'm kicking you off when we block anyway. Just be ready or get ready to get kicked out. Fine, okay, for
There you
you.
go.
Mark's
But
the worst.
Mark is the most evil character. But yeah, as you guys come into town, I'm gonna change over the map. As you guys begin to enter town, on the right, the rocky cliffs and bluffs that made up the Forsaken Waste kind of fade away, and into the night, even the small forests and like bits of nature of wild nature anyway begin to fall away as you guys just begin to see all along the way just farmland on either side. Every now and again, relatively, it's kind of getting into winter, so there isn't a huge amount, but still just these not barren, but relatively bare tracts of land, just all along the other side, with different bridges connecting all across this river. But in the distance, probably the most notable thing, the most notable feature, you see just a massive statue. Um, kind of say, kind of acting over. From here, you can see it's like half in the city and kind of acting over the bridge or over the river, and it is of a human. It is a large human man, um, grappling and fighting with a snake. And it's not quite Statue of Liberty sized, but it's a little smaller than that. Like a relatively well designed statue just taking up the forefront. And all around you as you pull in, you see kind of signs of, or probably the most well received for you, of actual goddamn civilization. Not this hunky dory smuggling town, not this weird inquisition, not this shitty island nation that's in a civil war. Just a relatively stable and calm looking merchant town all around you. And as you pass through and pull further in, just kind of along the bank, you guys just see dock workers. Oops. You see dock workers and like different farmers just watching you, not for just have saying, more just regarding, oh, there's a boat, moving on with our lives. Just all throughout. And every now and again, you see towers with just kind of erected at either side with what it's kind of odd. It looks like just these massive chains that are just like stretched across the length of the river that as you guys approach are subsequently lowered, and then as you pass through, raised once again. But after a few more minutes, you guys, or after maybe an hour of kind of sailing through this area, you guys begin to saddle up to the port. And you After saying farewell to a disgruntled barge captain, you guys set off and are on the docks of Leon, right over here. And along the way, oops, on your guys, one of the first things you guys see is a flag, actually, which I will send to the chat. It is not the Imperial flag, though. Why is this not? Do me a favor. Come on.
No.
There we go. It is not the Imperial flag, though.
God damn it.
Mark, would you have a look at that flag real quick? As you guys see, just a
fucking damn it.
you see the flag that just says very simply the Delphanus Port Authority.
What is this a reference to?
When we did the robot high school session, my character that was product placement bot kept bringing up Delphanus brand motor.
But yeah, as you guys step off, there's a quick exchange between the captain and one of basically the port ministers, just going over that. But you guys are immediately made free to go about your business as you just find yourselves in the city of Leon. Morak, Byron, both of you, and Ode, actually. All three of you make a history check for me.
Not me, right?
Now.
The 9, get me.
What's it? 12. Get me.
18, I know everything!
I remember when I
Um,
still hadn't.
Huge Delphanus guy. One thing the Empire did right.
Ode, what you remember of this, you weren't raised in this continent. Basically, all you know about the city is that in this town, there's a Cerulean monastery, and it is the way of death, or the way of the long death.
There is a Cerulean monastery.
What? You're telling me Ode knows the thing she's been telling us the whole time? What?
Yeah, literally, that's it. Yeah, that was my polite way of saying sorry, Ode. You rolled too low.
Yeah, it's about 9 would get me. So.
Yeah, sorry, you only know what you already have specifically said.
Guessing my 12 guessed me that I know I can use Electrum here.
You also think you heard a rumor about a goblin casino.
I want to justify myself. The way David said that, it reminded me of the Halloween town. Like, in this town, we all worship the pumpkin or whatever.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Morak, you don't know a huge amount about Liam. Imperial Port Town pre-war. Since the Terror, you haven't exactly been keeping an ear to it. What you do know is that it is relatively active and one of the more stable cities from where the Empire once was. And you know there's something of a goblin presence in the town. Kind of just
Wait, goblin or gnome?
Goblin.
Oh,
kind of what you remember of that? It's the Turnmaw clan. What the little bit you remember is they were relatively small and kind of saw an opening in the town and under a little bit of scrutiny from the Tusbanes, but they were a bit busy putting out other fires at the time to do anything about it. Kind of moved in and set up a bit of a shop in the town. And you know that the Turnmaws, they kind of focus a lot more on kind of mechanical engineering and literal literally a clan of mechanical engineers and things of that.
So they're
nature.
basically useless.
But functionally. Now, you guys should have been talking to the rotate mouths. Those guys are welding engineers. They can do anything. No. But yeah, that's pretty much what you get from it.
Okay. Good enough.
Oh, one other thing. That statue, that big ass statue that you saw in of the human god of the human man kind of grappling with a viper, that is a war memorial to the Imperial Viper War. Basically, 100 years ago, they got into a war there was a massive war with the Yuan-Ti.
Interesting. Okay.
All reptile people.
All reptile people. God
Hey,
damn,
dude.
can't fucking trust
Out
them.
of character, just kind of curious. It seems like you have this really cool city set up, and I want to make sure we like are in it as long as you kind of like.
You guys could
It.
leave right away. I have plans for this city anyway. Do not feel like you guys have to stay here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I want to. I just don't want. I didn't want you to be offended if we did just happen to find a boat and leave. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Not at all. Like, okay, I have some stuff I have in mind for this city for down the line, which is why I rushed to make a map. If you guys leave right away, go ahead. Just go towards Arctic stuff. I'm ready for that as well.
Okay. Well, minimum. I think Ode's gonna go check out the Cerulean Eye Monastery.
What?
Shit, I forgot about them.
Hey, thank God Ode remembered that it was here.
Yeah, she hadn't rolled that high roll.
God,
You might have
if she
forgotten
if
it.
she
Oh,
rolled
wait,
any
Ode.
lower, she would have forgotten we was left.
All right. Well, I'll go find the boat, and we'll try to leave as soon as possible.
Yeah. And there's a big sign
Oh, hey.
that says Cerulean Eye this way.
Hey, Ode, you roll a medicine check. Oh, you got a 5. Hey, you remember you have a pulse.
It's,
Well,
it's
Ode
appropriate
kind
now.
of gathers everyone, and she's like, maybe Kezia and Sunny, you guys can keep like Chris out of causing any alarm in the city potentially. And I'm gonna go find the Cerulean Eye Monastery. Artek, if you would happen to want to come with me, they are the monastery that studies the way of the long death. I just remembered that. And maybe there's another crew that could focus on getting a boat to the Gautera area.
I'd love to come with you.
Great.
I guess I can go
Now is
find
the
a
time for
boat.
the sea shanty music.
Morak will
Yes.
go up to the ship captain, barge captain, just be like,
Yep.
I'd like to thank you for bringing us here safely. I just want to ask a personal question. What is the relationship with orcs in this town?
Don't start shit.
Okay, good to know.
You know what? Hold on. No, you actually have been paying your dues and also weren't the one to knock the means.
I didn't know what it means.
Listen, don't go running around your last name, and you guys will all be fine. All right. Like goblins, or the goblins around here, the Turnmaws, they've got a bit of sway, and that kind of has normalized a few things you might not be expecting.
Good to know. Thank you. And Morak's going to give him 8 gold for the journey.
Oh, this is so much better than that bag of rocks you
I
gave me
know.
the other day.
I was just playing with you a little bit earlier. Okay.
I'm gonna say we start with Ode and Artuk. Yeah, as you guys, there is a literal sign saying, "Hey, this is a civilized place." There's a sign telling with directions where you guys want to go.
Wait, can we have just canonically? Can we have the people not here, and then the NPCs possibly go find us a tavern for the night?
Yeah.
Okay. Or like something like that. And then
Yeah, they'll find you guys rest.
okay, and then
You know, Sunny and Kezi are really the faces of the group. It's a good thing they're picking the
You
location.
say that about our high charisma character.
Oh yeah. Huh, roleplay, huh? All right. But yeah, Ode and Artuk, as you guys move through, there's Artuk. This place actually seems shockingly familiar to. It's been a while, but Galtero, just kind of like the very wide open streets with like plenty of like room for like carts to travel through, like going over the water. Every now and again, you guys see like a guard like posted up at a corner or like chasing after like a little pickpocket running through, but things seem relatively relatively tame here. Like, there's no weird checkpoints that are like. There's no weird checkpoints like in Harry Magi. There's not just this seedy element to it that makes Kezia feel at home. It just seems calm. But yeah, as you make your way a few blocks over and kind of more towards this central aspect of the town, you see a relatively well-sized kind of circular building with this light blue paint all across it, white lettering that just says across the top just Cerulean Eye, just Cerulean Eye Archives. And then at the front, you actually see just a couple people, like kind of peasants, kind of at the front. That you hear a bit of a ruckus though.
I think before we go over there, once we know we're heading in the right direction, Ode will kind of like make sure like her robes are all in order. She's got like the little, I don't know, like insignia on her belt all properly like displayed and everything. So
Shine it up a little bit.
yeah, shine it up a little bit. So I guess if we approach, if we'll go probably see what the ruckus is.
Before that too, on the way, Artuk would definitely, it's like sort of looked at it like, so just, I haven't like, I guess we had a couple of folks from the Cerulean Eye that we met briefly on Paldarin, but like just in general, is there like we're walking right into a bunch of folks like you? Like, is there any like customs that I should know, or like anything that I like? Is there like a way to like say hello or anything like that? Do we expect them to be like real friendly to you immediately, or is it going to be kind of like normal strangers, or like I don't know. I'm interested, and I don't want to make the wrong impression because I can see you really want to make a good impression. I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah, thanks for asking, Artuk. So I can more say about the couple. I've never been to this monastery before. The way the Cerulean Eye works is that all monks and monasteries are kind of here to help each other because we are all working towards the same goal, but each individual monastery has gone about like a different way to do that. So like the one I come from in Cathartis follows the way of the shadows because they think it's like better to work as an individual and kind of like make certain connections with people that we can really build on and build their trust and kind of like work in the shadows otherwise to like preserve culture and history. So the one here, they follow the way of the long death. So it's my understanding that they are like really focused on preserving like death rituals, like understanding how death can forward knowledge, like and focusing on like really far back history, like that kind of thing. So I don't know if they'll be like really friendly off the bat, but we'll just kind of want to be like as polite as with anyone else. And the one weird thing that I do know about this place is that they have this thing that if you want to enter the monastery, like if you want to enter the one in Cathartis, you have to like speak very quietly. You're trying not to speak at all, like Way of the Shadows. So here, if you want to enter the monastery, I guess you can decide if you want to do this or not. You have to sign an agreement that if you die while you're physically in the building, they're allowed to examine your body to study it.
I mean,
Die to someone who's already died.
What was that?
It's just like because I've already died. Does that mean that they're allowed to like examine my body?
Oh,
Did
maybe
you die
no.
in the building?
Yeah.
Okay, so no one kill me, please.
Is
Yeah.
Byron with us? Would you like to be with us?
Going?
Byron, I do want to appreciate that you're okay with dying more so than people examining your dead body.
What if they like like
You need to work out
what if it's really cold
issues.
out and then they like go to look down there and like I'm not like at my best.
Good. Okay, I think we should work out
my
some issues
God.
later on, but we can. Ode, please continue.
So wait, would you guys like to be with us? That would be totally fine if we want to all go over as a group of 5. I'd be like great with that if you're interested.
Yeah, fuck splitting the party.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God! You guys missed the lethal encounter at the with the shipmaster.
Okay, so Ode explains that to everyone.
At some point, I would like to get a diamond. That's the only thing that's on my agenda. But otherwise, I'm down to do whatever the crew wants. So that's just where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to know that though, Ode. I'm looking forward to you getting to have this. That's cool.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, me too. Should we sign the sheet beforehand and like just give it to them at the front desk, or will they have it
There's
there?
like a sign-in sheet. I think you know what? I actually don't know. I rolled low on history. I imagine there would just be a sign-in sheet.
They have like an online form that I need to fill out, like provide like my health history and things like that before I can like come in.
A vaccine card. So we're good.
That's good. That's good.
We're good.
So as you guys kind of saddle on up, though, you
Pro
do
death.
They're pro.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, that got me. Yeah. As you guys saddle up, though, you do hear just. It's not a huge crowd. It's like 3 or 4 peasants, and you do see a member of Cerule 9, identified because they're wearing very similar robes to Ode. This kind of like. Could you describe your robes once again?
They're actually like a navy blue robe, and they're just kind of like, I don't know how would you describe them, Eric? I sent a picture before.
I would just say like traditional
Like
Buddhist monk robes,
like Buddhist monk robes,
but
but with like
navy blue and a little bit more layer and like beads and stuff, right?
not really as much as like kind of just not like a tunic as much as like, can you imagine what's the word for like the pants that are a little bit flowy but then tight right at your ankles?
Oh, like say joggers. No, they're like
Flare jeans?
No, almost like joggers. Like if you can imagine like fantasy time joggers, like that's
like
the
what
most-
Aladdin wears.
Oh,
yeah, like
Pairs-
Aladdin pants.
Like Middle Eastern.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I know what
a
Yeah,
wrap
yeah.
of the shirt on top, like not like Catholic monk robes, like
Okay.
Yeah, like cool
Okay, I
East
got you.
Asian monk robe
East Asian monk robes, yes,
with
Okay.
with hammer pants on,
with just joggers.
Excellent.
just joggers.
And I think you're remembering that Ode specifically like wears jewelry in her ears and stuff
That's what
because
it
her
is.
mom was a jeweler, so she was like allowed to.
And Ode specifically has the purple cloak.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah. As you walk up, very similar to the basic robes that Ode is wearing, but with not really much in the way of the kind of like personalization. Like none of the robe, none of the jewelry. You do see like a pair of like what look like just like metal chains like crossed across the back of this like 7.5 foot tall bear person. As you guys look up, as it is like a full-on like in a similar way to Tabaxi is a cat, this person but for a bear. They are called an ursine, and they are just kind of standing, just kind of watching the gate as 2 or 3 very clearly drunk guys are just like, fucking necromancers, piece of shit, get out of our fucking town, and are like, yeah, all right. As you see, like a guard is like on standby and is like looking towards the figure, looking back towards them, looking towards the figure again, and he's just like, and they're just kind of slowly being ushered away.
I guess
Fucking idiot.
Ode will go up as they're kind of being ushered away and say, hello, fellow monk. It looks like you've got this situation under control, but do you need any help?"
Good evening. Have we met before?
"I don't believe we have. I'm Ode out of the Cathartus Monastery."
A pleasure to meet you, Scribe Alec. And he kind of lowers down his hand, and it is a huge fucking bear paw.
This is actually like really pleasant for Ode because as having cat paws, it's always been a little bit weird trying to shake people's hands. So I feel like they literally just like put their paws against each other and kind of move them up and down, and it's like really delightful.
I believe I have this under control. He kind of just looks to the guard and he's like, and the guard's like, oh, okay, and he's just like starts like actually like shoving the little rattle of drunk dudes like away and like using some amount of force. That shouldn't be an issue.
So what was that about?
Just they don't the nature of our particular monastery always attracts a bit of scrutiny, and the surface level approach, the way of the long death. And he just kind of lets the hand trails out.
Right, yeah. Well, I was actually hoping to check in with this monastery and maybe be able to send a encrypted letter or something like that back to the Catharsis monastery. And these are some people I've been traveling with, so I wanted to be able to show them around or potentially get a tour.
Of course, simply follow me. And he kind of gestures to the doors, which then just these two big oak doors that just open right up for you guys as he kind of guides you inside. And within you see just first a reception area with a little clipboard that says please sign in here. And then next to it another piece of paper that says please sign here to certify that if you ever find yourself deceased within the parameters of the Cerulean Eye Monastery, that your body will be held for further inspection. And just a bunch of legal. You notice that it's a little folder of 30 things for please sign in here, and there's a ream upon ream of what's clearly legal paper for this waiver.
It's like the Willy Wonka one where every line it gets smaller and smaller and smaller font.
Someone turns to Alec and she's like, I love how much paper you have.
It's delightful. Living on the coast has certain pleasures. Whenever I have to go back to the north, it's just and he's just I got it.
Byron will raise his hand.
Yes, Byron.
Thank you, Zeka. So, sir, this says if I die in a Cerulean monk monastery, does this apply to all Cerulean monk monasteries or just this specific branch?
Well, I can't fully speak to the other monasteries. I'm only aware of our policies, but within this specific monastery, as well as our examination chamber, and the grounds of the graveyard, and our payroll station.
All monastery-owned properties. I see. They really slip that in there, don't they?
Didn't you guys buy the subway across town also? Does that count?
Did you buy the pavement for the really top?
No, actually, no. You're thinking of the Charlies.
Does that count?
I'm starting to think of back in the old days, back before the wildland became wild magic trade, that was all Columbus area, and basically all of that was owned by the Ohio State. And I don't want to be this entire city is owned by you guys, and if I die anywhere in here, you can just I don't know, take my body before my friend has a chance to revive me.
Dude,
Not a cult.
I would like to take everything you have established and build on top of it by saying that they have just sponsored a new wing of the hospital in town, and that's what people are really concerned about.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
It says you have the deed to the coroner's office down the street.
Well, I mean, in a manner of speaking, we are the coroner's office.
Oh, fuck. You're really knocking out the competition, huh?
Well, just think about it. All that space they've saved since they don't have cemeteries, they can use it for actual things now.
In the meantime, Artuk has written his name.
Wait, are you? Oh wait, yeah, you learned how to write.
Yeah, Morak writes his name down, and he starts writing Tuskbane, and he's like Landstrider, and then he just keeps going.
Tusk Landstrider.
And he turns that T into an L real hard, a couple times, and then he keeps going.
Fantastic. Yes, if you would like me to show you around, would you prefer to see the archives, the examination room, the autopsy room, the infirmary?
I don't want to go to the subway that they bought down.
Yeah, whatever's the least boring.
Ah, yes. And he goes to one that's called what's it called? You guys just said it. Coroner's. Yeah, you see coroner's office.
Oh.
Right this way. And as you guys walk in, you see it's relatively well maintained, pretty clean table. You do see probably an uncomfortable amount of bodies, just just kind of laid out, surgically cleaned. And then you see a few of them that are cut open as if for an autopsy. You see a few hearts in jars, and like you see different like notes being taken of like heart day 1, day 2, day 3, and just like kind of tracking the rate of like decomposition and keeping an eye on this. And it's just a little bit too creepy for this guy's cheery attitude.
Really detailed sketches on the wall
DM,
of like what the heart looks like each day.
you
Yeah, exactly. It's like straight like some shit from like Da Vinci Renaissance era like medicine stuff.
you know the meme with Homer Simpson walking in, putting his hat on the hat rack, turning around, taking his hat off the hat rack, and walking out?
Yeah.
Artuk, that the moment he sees a bunch of dead bodies waiting like 20 feet from his 10-foot radius of spores.
Well, some people can be a bit squeamish, I understand.
I apologize.
If
This is horrible. I'd like to leave. Artuk is the person that we were hoping you might be able to connect with someone about. Maybe we can talk back in the lobby, actually. And Ode will walk out also.
Zeka is like taking detailed notes and is asking the what's his name? Alec. He's like, so like you when you cut this body open, like what did you use to do it? It's like really clean.
Oh no.
It's a
he starts to answer and then sees that Ode is up and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can go over this more later.
Okay, yeah.
We have to stay with our tour group."
Gotcha.
Yes. So, apologies for that. It's always a bit of a litmus test for those who have a who are squeamish for that kind of stuff.
You know
I
what?
do apologize.
Admittedly, not boring. So, yeah. But
Would you all like to have some biscuits? We could have tea brought in if you'd like.
sure, maybe we could just go sit in like a dining area more so. Like far, actually, not near dead bodies at all.
Okay.
You guys pass
He goes off the staff break room. There's the staff break room next to the coroner's office. He goes to the like actual like canteen. It's it's pretty nice. It's nothing like crazy, but like it's kind of like a rest area for like a big office building. It's actually surprisingly well done.
Okay. So Artuk, I was hoping maybe you could describe Alec your whatever you would want to describe about your situation and see if perhaps they have someone who might know more about
Um, you comfortable? I'll take your word for it. Can I trust with everything?
Ode thinks about that for a minute. And I'll tell you, Ode thinks that the Cerulean Eye Monastery is out here to like help people and ultimately but like maybe Artuk's situation wouldn't fall with exactly within the vein of like preserving culture and history. So I think she thinks about it. And David, is this something you would want me to roll an insight check for, or do you just want her to make a call?
You can make your call if you roll high on insight. I'll give you a little like nudge in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll roll.
Okay.
A 9. She knows that they study dead bodies.
Blight magic, and these guys study dead bodies.
it's
How could they not be to aligned?
it is canonical that Ode skipped class a lot.
Yeah, it's true. Ode thinks about it and she's like, yeah, I trust them.
All right, I trust you. So if you have any information and are willing to help, I'm extremely grateful for it. Have you by chance heard of the word Blightwalker before?
Yes, it's within our realm of study.
So I'll put it plain and simple. I'm one. I'm the one, the only one. From what I understand, I'm the Blightwalker. I am. This isn't something that you choose. It's something that happens to you, and I'm that. Which is why I avoided the dead bodies, because blight spreads to dead bodies.
He's scooting just a little bit away.
Yeah, a little bit away, but he's also real excited, and you see his hands going like.
Yeah, as he starts to scoot away, you see Artuk for a moment, like a moment of like hurt in the face, and then like a deep breath, and then the same smile returns as he's like, "Yep, this is me."
Well,
Oh, we'll put her hand
that
on his back.
is
Like that was a very big moment.
I don't really want to be the Blight Walker. I'm doing everything in my power to figure out how to not be the Blight Walker, or at least control the Blight, or stopping the Blight works too. But frankly, it's all that I can do to keep it at bay for the most part, and that's with a lot of folks' help and a lot of learning about myself. And if y'all have information, I only know little bits and pieces and ends about what a Blightwalker is. I've figured this out myself without an archive and a monastery around, and if y'all have info on that, I'm more than all ears.
give me just a moment. And he kind of just walks out the room, closes the door, and yeah, I'll just say with your passive perception, you hear him just being like, and he's like clearly like running to go grab something, like not like booking it out the building, but like calm, calm. Holy shit, I gotta get that. Couple minutes pass. Couple more minutes pass.
I'm glad that there's someone here we can just rely on like this. It's usually have to keep this pretty heavy under wraps.
Couple more minutes pass.
Yeah, I mean, I was only thinking that if someone came in to our monastery and said, "Hey, I've got this thing related to shadows that I need help with," we would think that only trying to help them. So, if it turns out that something goes wrong, I'll take responsibility for it and get us out of here.
I appreciate that too. I trust you, and I trust them if you trust them.
Scribe Alec comes in with actually another figure. This one about 4'3", with this massive, this red-headed, like glorious mane pulled back, and this huge, well-maintained beard. As you see a dwarven fellow actually enter into the fray. Older fellow wearing just like kind of like John Lennon looking glasses almost, as he kind of comes up to the table, looks at how tall you are, walks around, gets on the chair, gets on the table, then gets really close to Artuk, like,
Jump in and say, excuse me, I'm Ode, and this is Artuk, and you are.
Master Lucullus.
Ooh, master.
I run this here
Oh,
monastery.
that was out of. Sorry, that was Mary. That was not Ode.
I run this monastery. You saying you're a blight walker?
Yeah, for the best of my knowledge, that means I'm the Blight Walker, not just
Okay. Can you go over? He like pulls out like a pad of paper, a pen, and just kind of like tosses them in the air, and it just kind of like assumes. All right, can you start going over a little bit of what's happened to you? Kind of let's establish a baseline of whether or not you're actually a blight walker, or whether or not you just have a bad cough.
Sure. So I start going through, and I mean, as long as he's listening, I'll go through starting the whole way from, I was a druid, life, the did life magic, life spawned around me, that sort of thing, to plants started whispering like terror when I was around, to, getting expelled from my herd because of things dying around me and animals hating me, to, killing people's farms as I fled from the woods accidentally and feeling terrible about it, to, you know, self-confidence.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much the minute you get past like the first time you mention like, oh, plants are like speaking to me and like unhappy with, he's like, okay, not gonna be a cough then. All right, we've marked that one down.
And
Sorry, always have to ask.
I'm impressed and surprised you've gotten a case where somebody came in thinking they were the Blightwalker and had a cough. I wish that it was that easy.
Well, we had a thing about a few months back. It doesn't matter. Anyway, just a bunch of paranoid idiots, basically.
Sure, I feel that.
So, okay. And he starts to like pull out like a handful of like 3 very large books and like begins to kind of cycle through them. Okay, and you said you were with the herd over in Galterra. Pulls out a map and like marks down like where that is. And then this. And how long have you been dealing with this?
Oh man, it's been like, oh, what would it be, like 6 months now or so?
Yeah, it would be about 6 months.
Yeah, it's almost half
Okay.
a year, and at the beginning I couldn't control any of it, and through learning about magics and other people's types of magics and introspective sort of figuring things out of myself, a little bit of, I guess, partially divine intervention and a lot of help from my friends. I've learned bit by bit how to use my own power to sort of counteract it and keep it at bay when I'm not tapping it.
All right. Well, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what we've got, just so you can see how it meshes, or at least relevant to that. So, best we can find is earliest historical record of this, probably 450 odd years or so. That's the first time we see someone pop up with anything that they specifically call Blightwalker. Okay? Now, not to say didn't have it before, but we just can't confirm that. After that, it tends to follow a pretty simple pattern of just it gets a lot worse. Like you were saying, you kind of lose control. Now, here's the odd thing. You said you're doing a little better right now, right?
I mean, yeah, it gets stronger and then I get stronger back to keep it back.
Yeah, see that not normally the case according to our records.
Oh,
Um yeah, according to our stuff, we got a few accounts. Let's see. Yeah, and he pulls us some. Let's see. Yeah, Piper, old farmer out from out over near Harry Magi. Yeah, reported this to one of our archives out there, and about 4 months later turned into a pretty gnarly monster. We've got this one here from a guy named Stick, and that's about 2 months until fatal heart attack. Ooh,
Excuse
this
me,
one here is.
Master Nicaris, I don't think we need these specifics. Um,
Oh,
Artek
okay.
was more interested in how to get rid of it, if you have any knowledge of that.
I would love to give you that answer. Thus far, all we have as historical is people getting worse. Looks over at Artuk. People getting worse.
sure. Yep. I mean,
Isn't it told you got outstanding bedside manner?
I'm not a doctor. At best, I'm a coroner.
No, fair enough.
I don't need bedside manner for that generally.
You don't need that.
Leans over to Byron and she says, "The masters in catharsis hold PhDs, so total. You're right in most cases."
This is more of a blue collar monastery.
Anyway, now with that, we do have something with it. I don't have a cure or anything like that. I wish I did. I would give it to you in a heartbeat. But we do have some historical stuff suggesting it's in line with certain curses. Now, this one is a strong one, and if it's jumping around from people to people, seemingly at random, there is some kind of thread IDing all of you together. We're not sure what it is, but best we could figure was it was farmers, peasants, people out there, occasional ranger, the occasional scout, people out in nature, which, isn't too surprising. We'd hardly notice it if it was someone out here living in a city if they were suddenly making plants unhappy.
sure.
That being said, give me a few minutes. And he hops out. As he hops out, Scribe Alec, who has been in there, is just like, he's he's a lot better on other days. We kind of had to pull him out of a meeting for this. I'm very sorry. He's so rude.
It's
He's not.
it's no worries.
I
Like,
just
could
yeah.
we perhaps get like copies of your records regarding those cases that he was mentioning about what
Course.
might
Yeah,
be like the connecting thread?
that would be
Oh,
huge. I mean,
absolutely.
even just knowing he started to list names and who they were and what happened to them, like grim as it may be, any information's useful information.
I'll get started on that real quickly.
Like,
And he starts like going down and like appendix B, blah 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 blah. So, and after a minute, the Master Lucullus returns. Okay, so I don't know whether you've figured this out or not, but what you're dealing with is, at the very least, some kind of a curse. Now, it's not just your traditional, oh, I don't like this person, I'm going to throw a little charm on this to protect it. No one touch this object. Not a little something, like not a little someone to hurt, to hurt like your rival, anything like that. This is something deeper, because if it's jumping around, then that is got some kind of connective tissue. Now, do you happen to know, are you related to any of these folks? And he kind of just goes down the line. They are all they are a mix of humans, orcs, tiefling. There is just a lot of different people.
Any uh any furbolgs or names that even remotely ring a bell?
Not that you see. Not that you see.
I mean, not by blood to anybody here. Everybody who's ever, given birth to a furbolg's a furbolg, best I know.
Thought so. Well, this kind of business is pretty nasty, as I'm sure you're well aware. Now, the fact that you're resisting it as well as you are is frankly impressive. How are you doing that?
I mean, so I had to really figure it out, and best I can figure. You know how like when folks normally cast magic, uh, they kind of reach in themselves and find some amount of energy, and they push the energy out into the world. That's sort of.
I can't cast magic.
I just mean like folks in general, like not specifically you. Just that's how best I figure out.
Oh, are you talking about key? Yeah, I can do
Sure.
that.
I mean, I think that's the same. That's how I always used to cast magic, but then once this started, magic just always leaked out of me, like, and out of the spores and out of the blight, and always just went out. And I figured out that instead of casting magic by pushing things out, I can use my magic to hold what's there in. And then if I ever need to actually cast anything, I just let up a little bit. So most people aren't using their energy most of the time and sometimes use their energy to push it out. For me, the way I figured out how to keep living a little bit normal is to always use all my energy and occasionally let my guard down a little.
Can you let your guard down right now?
No, and like Artuk immediately like looks around, like, are there mushrooms growing? Is something wrong? Is he like, is anything wrong? Like,
Sorry, I think you misheard me. I said, can
oh,
you?
can I let the guard down? I mean, you sure?
you do have a lot of dead bodies in the building.
Let's move to a different part of the
Yeah.
building. And he moves further in, just out, just deeper in.
Yeah, my spores will possess corpses nearby if I.
Okay, yeah, that.
If you
Okay.
guys are into
Okay.
that, you might be,
No, someone tells me the mushrooms would fuck with any of our studies.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if you get me away from that sort of thing, and preferably away from anything green and living, I'll show you.
He kind of takes you to a more isolated part of the building, like second story up, just this relatively dark, like, lecture hall cross observatory.
All right. I get to the center of the room.
But he does pull out a single, he just like a single potted plant.
Sure. Before I let everything down, I lean down towards the plant and I apologize for this. I didn't mean to do it. And I'm gonna walk back towards the center of the room, and I'm like, or I'm gonna. You want to see a little bit of it? Do you want me to just let it loose? I can do. You know, what are you looking for? What's going to be useful to you here?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and uh, I'll. I mean, I'm showing him how this works, and I don't want people in the future to be messed up by this. Anything that I can show him, I want to show him. I'm gonna cast just at the ground in front of me, and not towards anybody or anything. Down at best. I'm going to cast the 4th level blight.
Ooh. There's a blight spell.
Oh yeah.
Artuk, as you do this, it's not, like you said, it's not so much as doing anything. It's a lot more about just letting go.
Yeah, I keep a
And
shell up all the time. I've always got my walls up. I'm just gonna, for a brief moment, let the anxiety down. Take a deep breath. Do what most people would do to calm down. But when my walls go down, the things around me do too.
as you all look at him, it's an odd sensation. Artuk, whether you notice it consciously or not, very like upright, shoulders just a little bit hunched. As you see him breathe out and let out that that just like tension, the effect is instant. You see at his feet spores just begin to grow and spread, and all along like the not living but like the wooden floor, like just this blackness just begin to spread around just in this massive aura, and just begin to leach out, and just these mushrooms, this fungal just growth begin to spread all around it. Master Lucullus is sat there watching as it kind of spreads, and as it begins to kind of coalesce around the small potted plant, it is not just that it overwhelms it, it is violent. It is like this plant is being attacked as these mushrooms begin to circle and dive in, and like the plant is like drained viscerally, and like it almost forms like a mushroom bloom all around it. And then as that happens, it begins to spread and grow even further from there. What in the damn? Artuk, make a wisdom save.
Sure.
Oh boy.
10. That's pretty low for me. Actually, that's the lowest I can roll without a natural one. Oops.
Let's find out. Wait, no. This is a DC. No, okay. I forgot how D&D works for a second.
Narrative failures.
Artuk, do you have a second 4th level spell
I do.
yet?
I have 2.
You cast Blight again, centered on yourself, and immediately all around you, this time, Artuk, your spores just no matter what, just begin to activate, and this rot just begins to deepen. This ring around it, it begins to kind of go all around this whole room, and like kind of like creeping up at the very edges of all of your boots and such, and any little bit of plant growth, any little thing, the moss that might be caught underneath underneath like Zeka's hooves, any little bit of life just begins to retch itself and like explode out in this dying scream. The wood that made up the floor immediately looks rotted, as if any hint of life that was once in it. And Artuk, things look normal. Looks fine. Look around. You see the room. This kind of weird little. There's a little bit of the rot kind of around from your initial blight. As you look around, you're like kind of just waiting for anyone to say anything.
He probably sees our horrified faces.
Notably, Artuk, you don't see anyone's
Oh.
horrified faces. You see everyone. You see just everyone kind of like almost like patiently waiting for just like something else to happen. You see the scrub. You see Master. What do I call his name?
Lucaris?
Lucaris.
Master
Thank you.
Lucaris.
You see Master Lucaris just kind of like taking a few notes. Everyone else, you see him like toss the books like reflexively back and like take a few steps back and take like a few steps back. All of you, I feel like involuntarily take a few steps back.
Hey, Artak, you doing okay, buddy?
Yeah, Arctic, that was a little. It was kind of a lot.
Is
Arctic, you don't hear anything. Just kind of
They're
waiting
just
around.
looking
Everyone
at me?
looks like not bored. They're like watching you, but
I
like
can
just
I can show if you need. I guess I can show a little more if you need it. Is that enough?
Master Colors nods.
Oh, oh shit.
I mean, as long as I feel like I'm in control and haven't lost it.
You feel fine, right? Actually, make a wisdom save.
18.
Oh,
It's a slippery slope. If you do it once, the fact that it didn't go wrong this first time is lucky. It's hard to kind of rein it back in. Doing it a second time would maybe be pushing the envelope.
Right. I can make more happen, but if you're okay with it, I'm not super comfortable doing that just yet.
Do we hear Arctic as he's talking?
Yeah, you hear Artuk say that, and he seems to have given no mind to his second little blight throw.
Byron will take a deep breath, hold it, and walk up and just kind of touch Artek on the back.
Byron,
You
Artuk, as you feel Byron's touch, that's weird. He was over there. You suddenly feel yourself pulled back in. Byron, you see mushrooms bit by bit just kind of scrambling down your arm. I need you to make a con save for me.
Anything for his buddy.
Artuk, how much is your aura?
my aura? Aura's not too bad. I was worried you were gonna make me blight him. The aura is. I can roll damage for it if you like.
Well, is it? Do you take damage on a failed save?
Yes, you take damage on a failed save.
Or sorry, on a successful
No
save.
damage on a success. Though he 15 con save is less than my DC, so that would be a fail if he's against my
Whoa.
DC.
Hit him with the damage.
Sure. Let's see. At this juncture, that would be
59 hit points.
not quite. No, pretty weak. Slash roll. I'm 8th level.
What are the
now.
odds he does Ode's max damage?
No, it's super low. 7.
Byron, you take 7 points of damage as these just kind of scramble across your arm. You're able to pull back. Artek, as he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder, you're like, Byron, you're there, and you see the mushrooms like going down his arm. You look back over, Byron, he's over there. He's standing next to Zeka and Ode, and they're just kind of watching you with that semi-bored expression.
I see mushrooms going up Byron's arm in front of me.
Yeah, the one who's next to you, the other one looks bored. And then everything, you see all the other figures, the Ode, the Morak, everyone except for the Byron in front of you, just begin to melt into this black mushroom pool. And suddenly you see everything appear before you, as reality is, once again, of this just massive blighted growth all around you, way more than you were expecting. Byron having it run up his arm, and everyone just watching you with this look of tepid horror.
The wall's up immediately. 1,000, like everything I have, all of my energy, like burn any spell slot I need to burn to contain everything now all at once.
All right. Just mark down a 3rd level slot just for the sake of this, but Byron, the mushrooms on him doing that on your arm just kind of fall limply off.
Are you alright there?
I like to my knees to the ground, hands over my ears, like ball up for a moment, like almost like child in the corner rocking level of like, this. I'm shook as much as anybody else was a moment ago.
Byron will hesitate for only a second, but he'll crouch down and put his hand on his back again and say, "It's alright."
I very definitely, instinctively, and not gently, like shove you back when you tried to touch there after seeing the mushrooms of your arm the first time.
Artek, you're in control. You're in control.
Lucaris, if you're okay with it, that's all for now.
As Lucaris looks at his notes, give me a day or so. I'll look in to see what else I have. if you're keeping all that in, that is much more than anyone else, and the fact that you're keeping all that in is damn impressive.
Sure.
I'll see what I can find, see if I can get you any more answers. I'll have Alec follow up with that request for the other cases.
Yeah. Sorry.
You folks have a good one. Sorry to push you to that.
Sorry, Byron.
It's fine. I'm more than happy to take it for you.
Ode will walk over to Byron and kind of put her hand on his shoulder and kind of give him a look of like, "Are you okay?"
He'll nod, thumbs up.
And
There's like some blisters.
Ode
He'll
will kind of
put
like,
his hand on his arm and heal it.
there you go. Ode will lean over to Artuk and she'll say, "Artuk, it's okay now. They asked you to put down the walls and you have them back up now."
Yeah, but that's more than I didn't. I look around the room. I didn't tell it to do that. I didn't let it do that. It took advantage of more than I gave it. That's
Then
not.
good work here.
That's you know, if I didn't figure out if Byron didn't touch me like real quick there, it could have gone. I don't know how much it can take, but it could have taken more than that. That scared me. That wasn't. I didn't. Yeah.
I think it is scary, and I would be concerned if you weren't concerned, and that's why we're all here to help you address it.
Thanks. I'm really afraid. I'm really glad y'all are here for me like that, and I wouldn't be here at this point without you guys here. But that's kind of a double-edged sword because I'm really scared that what happened to Byron there is going to happen the moment that I let loose any more than that. It's going to hurt all y'all.
Well, if it helps, like most of us are way tougher than Byron.
And if it helps, I can also heal everyone quite a bit, and so can Zeka.
And I was
Yeah.
thing there, if I crack just the littlest hint of a smile back and sort of collect myself. All right, this
And
was
Ode puts her hand back on Byron's shoulder, like it was a joke, buddy.
No, it's fair. It's absolutely true.
this was a cool thing for you to come meet the people at the monastery. Let's get back to that.
Yeah, I was hoping to actually be able to meet with someone and ask them like a kind of policy question, so I might kind of focus on doing that. Sorry to do that individually, but by myself. If you guys want to find something more fun to do than this grim, bad place.
No worries.
Ode, are you going to still talk about sending a message to the Catharsis Temple?
Yeah,
If I were to give you some letters, would you be able to send those with it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, do they deliver to a little place called Brinsburg?
No.
Fuck. Never mind then.
Huh? Worth asking, but no.
Right, I figured. You know.
Okay, and I wanna, David, I wanna specifically ask like someone who would know at the monastery about like artifacts and potentially if there happens to be anyone from the Shadow Monastery here. Um but also it's like getting close to bedtime, so I don't know if what that would look like. It's getting close to Mary's bedtime, not Owen's bedtime.
No, we can do that. Master Lucullus would probably be the best one to ask about that. There isn't anyone from the Shadow Monastery, but he was going to pull you aside anyway for something else anyway. So this is a good a time as any. Yeah, as he kind of pulls you aside, what you had some questions about artifacting.
Right. Well, I know every Cerulean monastery has different policies. Is there like an overarching policy on? I know part of our job, at least with the Catharsis Monastery, is to go out and collect artifacts that we might bring back for examination and protection. Um, is there any like guidance on if something is an artifact at all, or maybe it's just like a weapon, or maybe it shouldn't be brought back to the monastery? I just want to know what the monastery says about that.
Well, artifacts generally go as just that aspects of culture, aspects of a civilization or culture, and something that will give us an insight into them. Usually, we're interested in, say, a sword from. Well, let me give an example. And he kind of just goes over to a box and just pulls out. This sword here was recovered from a site out over in Orcish territory near Weeping Rock. Sword's about 400 or 500 years old. I don't really care the fact that it's a sword, but it does give us a bit of insight into it. Make a model. The seal here is from a particular company that operated that time. The techniques here were used to, and he kind of just goes over it. And the point he seems to be getting at is less like you don't need to keep the weapon, but you can examine the weapon more thoroughly. And he kind of brings it back to it. Now, he kind of looks over to the blighted room that Artuk was once in. Now, if you're talking about bringing back something dangerous that could do something like that, don't do that. As important as studying these things are, equally importantly, we don't want you to die to do it.
Okay.
That's kind of the end of that point.
And she's like, think you guys might be a little more different from the Shadow Monastery than I thought.
I cannot, if you need to bring in something, and if you want to bring in for further study, and we identify it's a weapon or something dangerous, like we have dangerous artifacts here, like do it. But if you think something's going to kill you, don't let it go so that the next person can pick this up and maybe get killed by it. Keep yourself alive and get the hell out. Maybe come back, maybe ignore it if you can, but keep yourself alive. Frankly, if anyone's asking you to kill yourself.
No, that's not, I guess that the Shadow Monks are very much like, get it done. But say we have something and it is a dangerous weapon as far as we can understand it, but also say like hypothetically it could be made by beings that were from like a planet that wasn't Oberian, but if like someone else got their hands on it, it would be really bad. But if someone at the Cerulean Eye Monastery used it as a weapon also, that could be bad. Like, again, hypothetically, what what do I do?
I'll tell you, the official line is to bring back any artifact so it may be further studied to understand its use and provide a countermeasure. Now, I will tell you my personal philosophy of if there's something that's going to kill a lot of people, and it has the chance to stay in the world, I don't like the idea of it being in the world. Now, maybe we could study it, and maybe we could figure out a way to work against it. But that's going to be a judgment call on your part. If you think keeping this thing around is more dangerous than getting rid of it, like we can study it and we might be able to find a countermeasure, or might be able to just hide it away or something. But there's always going to be risk. We're not a perfect institution. Someone could come in here and someone could swipe something potentially dangerous. It doesn't happen often, but equally, just as much as we've had someone steal something, there have been magic artifacts that were cursed to all hells and back. We bring them in, and we found a way to crack them, and now we know how to break that curse, and we can use that to help break that curse again in future. There's always going to be risk to whatever we do. You're going to have to use your own judgment, though, on that. And I can't speak to what the Shadow Monastery is going to do, but I'm never going to fault you for taking something dangerous off the table. It might be annoying, and I'm not going to lie, it might be a bureaucratic nightmare for you as soon as you get back. So maybe don't mention it if you do it. But there's no one answer to that, because there's risk to everything. If you think it's a better call, though, to take something away, and make sure no one gets it, I ain't gonna fault you for it.
Ode kind of sits back and looks at him and like tucks her hand on top of her fist like that and says, "That was horrible. I'm so tired of judgment calls. Can you
Listen, what do you want? You know
point
what? Fine,
me?
fuck it. Break it. I don't know what to do for you.
Can you point me towards an area where I can send a secure letter?"
Fucking fine, Jesus. And he points to the Dropbox.
Normal ass USPS, like
Yeah.
it's mailbox in the middle of a room.
Just
my
kind of, I think
goodness.
she'll just take Morak's letters and like shove them into the Dropbox and like not send anything of her own.
Okay. As you guys walk out from the monastery, you
She
notice
just
that
decided she didn't like this guy. That makes me feel.
I like him because he's this crotchety old monk that's just like, you damn kids all asking these. I don't care. Just do what you want.
I feel like
Stop
it made a lot of.
asking if you can die in here. I just stop it.
I don't know. I feel like it made a lot of sense for Ode to like that answer to irk her one way or the other.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. This guy would be so annoyed at that answer. Like, all right, fuck it, I tried.
No, this guy is like the perfect antithesis to what Ode wanted, and I love that about him.
It's like he's like, this is why I didn't have damn kids and I joined the monastery. God damn.
I took the goddamn oath of celibacy. I took it seriously.
Didn't even ask me to. All the other dudes banging around, I decided not to. They give myself the force.
There's the one cerulean monastery. They just bang each other. Who does that?
They're
It's a
just
really
orgies all the time. They don't do shit. You're just banging. I didn't do any of that. I took a vow. I will play this character in the next campaign.
Well, he's away of the long death monk.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
He got fired for because he kept telling people to ignore company
Be
policy.
celibate. He's not against banging. He just thinks that like you can do so much more if you didn't care.
As you guys run out to the tavern that was assembled by the NPCs and the missing party members, yeah, they Master Coles kind of catches Artuk on his way out and is just like, he looks a little frustrated. Like he just, you see Ode just kind of brushing past him, and he's just like, "Damn kids." But he's just like, I'll see what I can pull up. That is, I'll admit, a lot more severe than I was expecting. But you might want to take that as you might want to take the good with the bad on that. Because all our records showing no one ever got as far as you did, never got quite as bad, maybe, but also, half the time, they're already gone. So the fact that you're doing as good as you are and holding that much back, I'd take that as a sign that things could get even better.
Yeah, thanks. That's all.
And he just kind of looks over. Nope, no one died on the property. All right, get the hell out of here.
And before I forget, Ode will go to Scribe Alec and give him the book that we stole from the Cerulean Monastery and Harry Magi that we already read through.
Yeah, the Blight book, right? Okay, just want to make 100% sure on that.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
assuming that would be okay with Byron and Artuk since we were all reading it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got knowledge out of it. That's part of the reason I went and showed them all that, that I let go at all is that, if somebody else down the line, if I don't stop the blight and someone else needs help, they have more info than they did.
Byron just teaching as thinking of it as a teaching opportunity for Artok. Give him something that he's passionate about to help learn how to read and write.
But with that, I think you guys will find your way over to a tavern thusly. We can pick up next session with you guys in the tavern. If you want to explore Leon any further, if you just want to charter a boat and get the hell out, we can decide that next time. But for now, you guys will just wait a bit and wait on some more info and David to make handouts from the Cerulean Eye.
Sweet.
I've got
Nice.
Electrum burn, man. We can't leave here yet.
Hey, random question. How much money does everybody have?
That's an excellent question.
Because I'm like, Morank's getting kind of dry.
5 copper,
we-
5 silver,
we
and
have
41
had-
electrum.
Like, out of the past 8 sessions, 2 of them have been us having drunken parties in the desert together. Can we just, like, chill?
No. I meant, like, do we have enough money to charter a boat?
Oh,
Or do we have to do a job?
Hey, we do have a bard that can do some storytelling to hopefully pick up some tips.
Hey, every time you've done that, we've lost money. So, I'm
Yeah,
just
because
gonna
you guys
say-
also told him to.
I think it's better than,
purposely
like, further delaying getting to Gautera by, like, going on a mini adventure.
You also
We
told
also
him to
need
think
we
about
also need diamonds.
This can all be picked up next time.
All right, we cannot leave without diamonds. Don't let me forget. We have one left.
I like living life dangerously.
I think the more diamonds we have,
The more
the
David is incentivized to kill
easier
us.
David wants to kill us because that we have more diamond. And if we have too many diamonds, David's like, well, I can kill you guys a bunch, and then he might kill Zeka, and then we're all dead.